it's just remarkable. And I'm nowhere near where I want to be, or where where I would consider like, success, okay, you're successful. You know what I mean? Let's say successful, but you know what I mean? Like,
all that is related, I think, because even for me, like with all the shit I've done in my life, I'm like, yeah, but like you're not successful. But I guess you also have to define what success looks like for you. And I think once you have that answer, it opens a lot of new doors. But at the same time, like, I think, like, on my journey, I asked myself this question. I was like, fuck, man, like, is it ever going to be enough? Like, I remember looking up in the sky, I'm like, I'm doing this crazy shit. Like, am I ever going to have enough? Like, is there always going to be something more? And quite frankly, I was like, yeah. And I think you got to accept that, because otherwise you're just like, you're miserable.
Yeah, no doubt. Do you think that it becomes, do you think it becomes unhealthy if you really just continue to just think, man, is there more? And the answer is always yes.
But I mean, it is, but at the same time, what's that will ever be worth it in life will be accomplished by like being healthy about it. Like, you have to obsess. Right. You have to be okay with that. I mean, is skating 3,000 miles healthy for your body? Probably not. I probably still with consequences from that, whether I realize it or not, but I wouldn't have it any other way. And I think that fulfillment overpowers that unhealthy, or like the consequences that come with it. Like, as long as you're reasonable and like you're safe and smart about what you're doing, like at some point you got to accept, like, if this is the way I want to live, and not just follow society's idea of like, all right, go to high school, go to college, get married, get a job, and then like start your life, and that's it. And you work a 9 to 5 for the rest of your life. Like, that's great for some people. I can't say that it's for me. And until then, like, I'll continue to chase whatever I want to do. But at the same time, it's like, hey, might happen for me one day, but at least today I can't even imagine like living life like this and not chasing things. And when I don't have a goal or something I'm working towards, I feel like I'm just stagnant. Like, so yeah, I think it's about choosing your unhealthy. I think, like, there's unhealthy and unhealthy, and I think that's at the end of the day, if you're doing it with the right intentions and you're still like, I mean, we're exercising, we're like focusing on details, nutrition, like, to a certain degree it's healthy, and then it's not. But at the same time, if that's what I'm going to be like obsessed over, like, I'd rather be that than be like drugs or like alcohol or addiction, because hey, like, pretty cool things come out of it despite the danger and like the uncertainty sometimes. Like, yeah, I'll be okay with that.
No, dude, that's 100% what I kind of think, because, dude, there's this guy, I guess he just like jumped off. Here's the gig, okay? This guy, I guess he just like he worked himself to death. He didn't jump off the building. Like, he's from Wall Street. He worked himself to, like, he had a heart attack, and he was like a Green Beret before, and this guy was going for $1 billion. This is those that like those motherfuckers who just, what I mean? Yeah. And that brought up the question, like, should people in Wall Street be working as much as they do and stress themselves out as much as they do? And in my that's not even a debate in my mind. The answer is yes.
Absolutely.
The answer is fuck yeah.
If that's what you're doing, and that's your goals, and that you determine success to be this way, then that's what it takes. I mean, you got to do what other people are not willing to do, and I think that creates separation a lot of times, and it differentiates like people like you and I to like somebody who's always wanted to accomplish something and never followed through with it. Because, hey man, like, if you want to live an unordinary life, you got to do unordinary that's hard to say, unordinary things, and you got to be willing to do whatever nobody else would even think of doing. And then people tell you, oh my God, it must be nice, you're so lucky. I'm like, yeah, I'm so lucky. Yeah.
Well, that people will tell me, like, cause I'll go like, dude, I will work like 16 hours a day for months, and people will be like, that's, dude, like, you're gonna burn out. And I'm like, burnout in my mind burnout is like, and tell me what your thoughts are on this, but in my mind, burnout is you lost focus on your vision. If you have a strong enough vision, if you have a strong enough purpose that you stay focused on, dude, no amount of work is too much work. No amount of work.
And also, if you're working to something that you're passionate about, like, then it's like, for me, the burnout, I think a burnout is an umbrella. It's something you can hide under when you know you're not living up to like your potential and accomplishing the task and the things you need to do to get there. When you lose your focus, and then it's like anxiety. You know, like I've never dealt with anxiety, and I do believe that some people truly deal with that. And you know, I'm not a doctor. I don't know anything about it, but I just hate that nowadays, like when something goes wrong in people's lives, instead of like really sitting down with themselves and doing that work within, they like try to label what's happening to them and find a cause. And I'm like, well, although you might be dealing with this, like before you like start taking these pills prescribed from the doctor to feel better and this, like, have you ever just looked at yourself in the mirror or picked up a notebook and journaled, or like went outside for a walk every day, or ate some good food, got some right amount of sleep? Like, life goes on. Like, doesn't care how you're feeling, doesn't care what happens to you. Like, the clock ticks, and it's like, okay, well, at the end of the day, like, what are you going to do about it? You know, you can just let your circumstances happen to you and then hide under that little umbrella and be like, oh, yeah, I'm dealing with this right now, instead of just rolling up your sleeves and being honest. And I think like you have to really be honest with yourself sometimes, and it's hard. Nobody wants to hear they're fucking up, they're not putting in the work. Nobody wants to tell themselves that, but until you're able to do that, I think you're just going to run into a wall and fall off track and then wonder why it's not working. So
yeah, man, do you think that most people have that like innate like drive to be like the most they can be, but they just have the mindset maybe that they can't be that, or that's for other people? Or do you think that there are specific people that have that?
Well,
What do you think?
I think people, like, some people are born that way. Like, I mean, I think despite all the challenges I've faced and everything, like, I've always had that drive within that I wanted to do big things. And then the hardships I faced over time allowed me to build that confidence and like the reality that, hey man, like you can do some pretty cool things with your life. And I think we all have the same potential. Now, we don't all start at the same level. Like, life's unfair, like it is, you know, like your upbringing, your family life, like as you grow up, like it's not the same for everybody, your situation. But like in terms of like showing up every day and doing the absolute most of your capabilities in order to chase whatever that you want to accomplish, I think that we're all the same, and it's just a matter of like, what are you going to do about it? And it's not for everybody, I don't think. Some people are content with just, you know, riding the wave, and then some people are like, hey, you know, that wave, I'm going to catch and surf it, you know. And yeah, I don't think we all start with the same foundation within, like with the same opportunities in terms of like mindset. But now it's the choice of like, do you want to dive into that and really operate towards like your goals, or do you want to watch somebody else do it? And yeah, I think for me, it was always like my story. I realized I had a different story growing up, but then again, when I put my journey together, I realized everybody has a story. Like, I have a crazy story, but that stranger in the grocery store next to me probably lived like 50 times what I lived, and you know, you wouldn't know. So I think it's, as human beings, we tend to discredit what we accomplish and also what we go through. And the day you can like really dive into the things that you've experienced, whether they were big or small, and how they impacted you, then that can shape you into like, okay, I know myself. And then from knowing yourself, you get to look on what you want to accomplish. And then once you do that, you're like, okay, how does that look? And you break your goals down, and then nobody can show up for you unless you do it, right? So it's like, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Are you going to sit there and just be that guy at a sports bar one day, be like, oh, you know, I could have played pro, but I got hurt, or I didn't want to work out? Or you're going to be like, yeah, I got to play pro actually, because I realized I had an opportunity, and I wasn't the best, but I was the one that was willing to do what everybody else wasn't willing to do. So yeah, to go back to your question, I really think like we all have the opportunities within ourselves. It's just a matter of like wanting to dive into that and having the opportunity to realize that too, and actually actively pursuing that realization.
Fucking Louis Chaix. Dude, thanks for being on the fucking podcast, brother. This is going to be fucking fun,
I'm
man.
pumped.
I was so stoked that you were coming into town. I was like, dude, I saw you were coming in, and I was like, I'm going to have fucking Louis Chaix on the podcast. So
I'm like, it's so good to be back. I mean, I've known you for so long before my journey was even like my journey was still a thought. And then like I met you, and then we did this podcast. I was in my college room in Springfield over the phone, and I was just like, yeah, I'm going to skate across the country. I had no idea how. I just knew I was going to do it. And then I got to be here, and things were getting real. And then we did it. We caught up again. And to be back here like 4 years later after meeting you, it's just really cool, man. And
it's kind of wild watching you and your story and everything that you've done since we first talked. When we first talked, that's when I was doing Big Fitness Live conversation. So I wasn't even doing the podcast. We just went online, Big Fitness Live. And we just showed up. One of my trainers was like, hey, know this guy? He's planning on doing something fucking crazy. You should talk with him. So, and dude, you had it all down. You had like, your vision board was up, your fucking plan, your route. You were like, you're set. And I was like, dude, this guy's got it. You were like, look, I'm listening. I'm reading the Daily Stoic. I'm doing all this shit. And I'm like, that's the foundation to winning. Like all that shit people think like, is like hippie ass shit. Like, what are you doing writing in your fucking book, you weirdo? Like, stop doing that journal thing. That's so stupid. And it's like, dude, everyone you admire does this. This is like everyone you admire goes hard as fuck.
Oh yeah.
So, dude, it's crazy now. That has to have been 3 years ago.
4
years.
2020.
4 years ago.
I had the idea in 2020. September 16th, 2020 is when I first like talked to somebody about it. Actually, September 16th is when I got to talk with the researcher for the first time at Vanderbilt, telling her I was going to do this. And then, now 4 years later, journey's accomplished. I pursued my hockey career, and the documentary is in the editing process. It takes a long time. People don't realize that. Also, budget-wise, it's complicated. I mean, like,
I can only imagine.
We did the journey with the budget that was so small. I think that when people are going to hear about it, they're going to be like, how was that even possible?
And because I also think that. And so I want to dive into how you made that possible. Mm-hmm. But before that, for those that are chiming in or that are coming in to the podcast right now that don't know your story, what exactly did you do and why the fuck did you do it?
Yeah. So I've been playing hockey my whole life. I started playing hockey when I was 4, and 2 years after starting to play hockey, I had to stop because one day after school, I got very sick. We didn't really know what was going on. I was itchy, and then the next day I woke up with blisters all over my body. And from there I was diagnosed with Stevens-Johnson syndrome. Well, the higher branch of Stevens-Johnson syndrome, which is called Toxic Epidermal Necrolysis. And it's an extremely rare skin condition. It's more common in the US because the use of medication is more prevalent in society in general. But essentially I was burned to the second degree on over 80% of my body while my organs were also burning. I had to be airlifted to the burn unit in Paris because I was dying, and they couldn't really pinpoint what I had in the first hospital I was in. So I was just dying, and then got airlifted to the burn unit in Paris. And then at 6 year old, I was like told by a doctor I was going to die. The guy walks in the room. My eyes were closed, but I was fully awake. And he looks at my mom. He's like, hey, ma'am, like, if he's not better by tonight, I'll be dead tomorrow morning. Have a good one. And he left. So my mom starts crying, and then I'm like, Mom, I'll be all right. And one day I'm going to play hockey in North America. Like, this guy doesn't get to say whether I'm going to live or not. And like, that's me, And when your body's giving up on you like that, it sounds very cliche, but it's very mental. Like, the fight that you're putting up is all mental. My body was dead. And I remember telling myself, like, I'm tired of fighting so hard. I'm just gonna relax for a second. And I just felt myself go completely. Like, my body became super heavy. It felt like I was getting dragged out of my own body, and I was going up in the sky. And I had this crazy near-death experience up until the moment where, like, boom, I fell back, and I was like, oh, what happened? I'm here. I'm back. Like, let's go. And from there, I just started getting better. We don't know how. We don't know why. I was supposed to be blind. First I was supposed to die. Then I was supposed to be blind. I was supposed to barely be able to walk again because how affected I was. And then turns out the only things I deal with is scars on my face, and I'm very sensitive to the sun, but that's it. And there are a lot of people who have this disease. They survive if they're lucky enough to survive. Like, most of the time they deal with a lot of like side effects, like eyelashes growing into your eyes, being blind, lots of like mouth and teeth problems, like skin peeling off of the bottom of their feet, and they can even walk, like, but I don't have any of that. I don't, and we don't know why, and we don't even know what caused it. Usually it's caused by an allergic reaction to medication, but in my case, I wasn't taking anything, so survived. And then years later, I was able to make my dream of playing in North America come true. Played all over Canada, all over the US, played college hockey in the US. And then when I transferred schools and I went to Missouri State, I was in a great spot in my life. And I was dealing with a lot of survivor's guilt. I was like, why did I get to survive, and why did I get to survive the way I did? Like, why me, you know? And I had a really hard time looking at myself in the mirror, and I as happy as I was also miserable on the inside, because I was like, man, like, it's not fair. Like, I don't deserve it more than any. I didn't steal the fact that I'm healthy and alive. I went through what I went through. I don't wish that on anyone, but like, why am I here? You know?
What did you come up with in your mind on why? Or how'd you deal with that?
I don't think I never found an answer why, because as hard as I fought and as hard as my belief was on staying alive and fighting, I never found that answer as to why I was alive. But what I figured was, like, if you're alive, you need to make it count. You need to do something significant to, like, show people that, you know, you're not taking your life for granted, because all these people with the same disease as me, or like all different diseases that are in the hospital, they would do anything to just take a breath of fresh air outside, you know? And so one day, I was rollerblading on campus. One of my buddies, Garrett, my roommate, also my teammate, and we're just rollerblading like we did every day, like a little cruise. And I look at him, I'm like, dude, it'd be crazy to skate across America. Like, it'd be insane. And he's like, yeah, it'd be really cool, but you can't do that. Like, come on. It'd be impossible. And so I went home, and I'm in the shower, and I'm like, you know, in the shower, like, I don't know if that's ever happened to you. Like, if you get scared that somebody's going to jump you, or like, you're like, I don't know, like, I just felt like something was there. And I was like, I can't get this idea out of my mind. You know, I have to do this. But then you realize that I didn't want to do it just to do it, like be like a social media guy. Like, look at me, I'm doing this thing. Like, I needed to find a reason and a purpose, because I knew that if I could attach a cause or something to this, I'd be successful no matter what, because like it was bigger than myself, and I needed to be a part of something bigger than myself. And to go back to what I was saying earlier, like, we tend to minimize what we go through and what we accomplish as human beings. Like, we tend to forget, because it's our story, it's what we know. And so I was like, man, you survived this crazy skin disease when you were 6 years old. You've lived your dreams all your life. Why don't you get involved and give back and give hope to people and raise funds for research and get the word out about this disease? Because it can be prevented with proper medication use, you know, like.
Oh, you can prevent it?
Well, I mean, if you know about it, the problem is, like, people don't know about it. So in my case, we don't know what caused it, but usually what happens is somebody's prescribed certain medication and they take it, and then this all comes up, and then we don't know what it is, so people give more medication, so it's like putting gas on the fire.
Oh, yeah.
It's making it worse. So, but if you know, and if you can prevent it, then you're less likely to consume these medications that can cause that. If you look, next time you're like open your like cabinet at your house with all your medication, just look at the back and you'll see may cause Steven Johnson syndrome.
Really?
And they're starting to like write it more, because it is very common here. Very common. It's more common here, yeah. And you'd be surprised, like, the amount of medications that have that in the back, and you're like, yeah, this can happen to you.
Damn, dude, medications are insane. Like, in this shit that it can get out there, just like just in these products. People, like, even with like foods, people are worried about how many calories are in the food. I'm like, dude, don't worry about the calories. There's so many chemicals in this bitch.
Look at the ingredients, bro. Like, it's supposed to be solid, but like there's
yeah, they're like, yeah, like I always get clients, they'll be like, yeah, but it's a Diet Coke. And I'm like, yeah, but like it's motor oil with no calories. Like, you're not
yeah, I mean, it's 0 calories, great, but like, look at it. It doesn't grow from the ground. It's not like you can just find it somewhere, like in nature. Like, it was chemically made. Like,
yeah, it's insane.
So it's like, sure, I mean, you do you. I'm not saying like you can't have Coke or whatever, but like,
just know what's like in these fucking things.
Oh,
but
you just can't.
But to your point, not to interrupt you though, but
no,
like, so continue moving forward. So like, from where you left off there.
And then, yeah, I just had this idea, and then I was like, wow, it really clicked in my mind. And so at first I was very timid about putting it out there because I wasn't ready to hear people tell me I was crazy, because I knew that. And I knew people were going to have a very negative approach to this. But I'm the kind of person, like, when I put something out there in the world, not only that does it help me manifest it, but also, like, if I say I'm going to do something and I tell everybody, then I have no choice but to do it. That's just how I operate. Like, if I, like here, I was like, I need to get the word out, but I need to build my confidence more and more. I never thought I would fail or I would never make it. It was just a matter of how. And I needed to find these answers for myself before I could even just put it out in the world. And then my buddy Dan invited me on his podcast because he was my trainer back then for hockey. And we just talked all fitness and all that. And he knew I wanted to do this. He was the first person to know about it. And he also understood that I needed to put it out there for, like, to be able to move forward. And at the end of his podcast, like, he didn't tell me he was going to do this, but he looks at me with a big old smile on Zoom and he's like, Louis, I heard you're preparing something pretty crazy. You should tell us about it. And he's like, let's go. And I'm like, oh, dude.
Let's go.
And I was like, yeah, well, my name is Louis Chaix. I'm going to rollerblade across America to raise funds and awareness for Stephen Johnson syndrome and toxic epidermal necrolysis. And from there, it was out in the world. And I was like, oh my God, I just said it. I hung up. I was like, I was super happy, honestly. I was fired up. And then 2 weeks later, one of my closest friends from college, Melanie, she's changed my life. I mean, if it wasn't for her, I don't think my journey would have happened the way it did. She calls me. She's like, Louis, first of all, I had no idea you went through all this. Second of all, what you want to do is incredible. And third of all, I'm going to help you. And my original thought was like, man, like, you're going to help me. I appreciate that, but I mean, what are you going to do? Like, I don't even know what I need to do next. I mean, I had no experience in marketing and sales and, like, promoting myself, putting a journey together, building a team. Like, I know none of that stuff. And she's like, I'm going to help you. I was like, all right, sweet. 2 weeks later, she reaches back out, sends me a phone number. She's like, hey, so my best friend's brother is a producer in LA. You should talk to him. And I think he could help you. And I didn't know what to tell that guy, but I was like, sure, I'll talk to him. And for years, I'm like for weeks, I'm messaging him, and like, he was producing films, and I'm just a college hockey player trying to reach out to him with this crazy idea. Like, it's like, really? You're really going to do this, dude? Like, and Ryan, quite frankly, didn't know how to help me at first. He didn't know what I wanted from him. And I don't think I really knew either.
Yeah. Usually how it works.
Yeah. And he was like, well, I'm not quite. And then one day, like, he wasn't answering. So I called him on my way to class a Friday morning. But I didn't realize there was a time difference in LA. So it was 9 a.m. in Missouri, but 7 a.m. in LA. And I call him, and I kind of figure I woke him up. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Did I just wake you up? He's like, yeah, it's 7 a.m. here. I was like, ugh. I was like, I can call you later. He's like, nah, go ahead. I'm already up now. So I told him, he's like, well, I'm not really sure I understand, but put a video together and then send it to me. I'll show it to my team and we'll see what we can do. And then I was able to find a videographer, Mikey. Ryan had told me to find a student that had a camera. And yeah, we got together, put a video together explaining what I wanted to do and why, sent it to Ryan. And Ryan was like, wow, like, this kid's serious. Like, he's got a purpose. He's got a big journey. He's got, like, a big story. And then from there, Ryan was like, okay, I'll work with you. And then he helped me build the team, find sponsors. And 2 years later, we started the journey. He was there the whole way with another producer, Jennifer Cox. And they were driving the RV, the safety van, and I was skating. And in 45 days, we accomplished this journey of 2,902.41 miles from Venice Beach Skate Park all the way to Times Square, New York City. In just 45 days, we set the unofficial world record for the fastest time across America on skates. And I say unofficial because to work with the Guinness Book World Record, you have to pay.
Yeah.
Like, for us, like, the minimum we had to pay was like $7,000 to just have somebody. And then there's different, like, ways for them to be there, different prices. And we didn't have that money.
Yeah.
And if you break one law, your attempt is over.
Oh, and there's a lot of laws that are going to be broken.
And, like, I mean, if you burn a red light and the guy sees you, you're done.
Yeah.
I don't have brakes on my skates. So
that's
we were
actually
like,
wild.
So we're like, we can't, like, we can't put $7,000 that we don't have into this for this guy like 2 miles down the road. Tell me like I went down a one-way street and like it's off. So now what we want to do is try and, because we have all the footage and all the proof that it actually happened, we might submit it down the road. But it is what it is. I never did it for the record. The record was interesting to me because I'm a competitor, I'm an athlete, and I was like, if I'm going to do something like this, I might as well go all out.
Well, you know what it takes now.
Oh, I know exactly what it takes now. And even then, like, a journey like that, you can't prepare. Like, I mean, I prepared to the best of my ability, and my first mile into it, I was like, wow. I think I'm prepared, but every day's a journey. And, like, you don't know what's waiting for you out there on the road. Like, there's really like this magic when you're on the road by yourself, like doing something like this. The way things happen, the events, the internal like conversations you have, the strangers you meet, the bad people you run into, the wildlife, the cars, like it's just, you can't prepare for it. And I skated on streets, I skated on the highways, I did it all before the journey. Then you get out there and everything that could have possibly happened to us did. And yeah, I'm thankful I did my best to like get ready for that, but I truly like, you just learn as you go.
We did like something like 60 miles or something like that. I came out to Columbus, Ohio to do that with you because I was on a family vacation when you came through St. Louis. So I was like, oh shit. Like, I was like, fuck, I miss Louis because I wanted to fucking skate with you. So I messaged you guys, and you're like, we're going to be in fucking Columbus. I looked at it, and I was like, that's 5 hours away. So I was like, I can fucking do that. I jumped in my car. I bought a pair of skates.
You messaged me. You're like, dude, I just bought a pair of skates. I have not skated in 10 years, and I will do a whole day with you. And, like, I always loved it when people came on.
Yeah.
But it was a big awakening for them because when you think about skating across America, you just like picture me like skating on a bike lane or something and it's easy peasy, like just like a little cruise, the pavement's perfect. Like, no. And I'm like, all right, you want to come for a day? I'm like, let's do it. I mean, I'm all for it. And I know you're crazy enough to actually pull through. So I was like, this is going to be interesting. I'm excited. And sure enough.
I felt bad because I slowed you down, but I feel it was like, but
it was needed because the conversations that we shared allowed, maybe like we went 2 miles slower an hour, but at the same time, like that conversation in that day carried me forward to keep going, you know?
Yeah.
It gets so lonely out there and you're with your own thoughts and you can't escape them. Like there's no, like to go back to like the journaling thing you're talking about, like in 45 days, I did like 20 years worth of internal work because there's no distractions. You're facing all these things that you kind of stored away in your brain, good and bad, things that you have done, where you failed, where you didn't show up, where you did great, you know, you store them in the back of your brain and you just move on because life is so busy. But when you're in the middle of the desert with your thoughts, with the heat, with the pavement, and you don't see a car for 6 hours, like you can't escape that. And so for me, it was very interesting to have that inner like conversation because I wanted to see my emotions. Because when you're so tired physically, your emotions are like this. And I'm sure you know with your races, like you go from really happy to like really upset in the blink of an eye. And then you go back up. And so I wanted to understand this thought process and embracing either or because nothing lasts. It doesn't. So yeah, it was very interesting, and for me to be able to share the road with people, sometimes it's great because it gets super long. Like try to spend 45 days without talking to anyone all day. Like I challenge you to do that. It's hard.
No, and you know what I found, the reason for bringing that up is one, that was an awesome experience and I'm so grateful you guys, invited me out there to do that with you. But dude, it was just part of the road thing is that like, dude, a couple people, like one person threw a frozen bottle of water at us at one point. We had like people flipping us off for no reason. Just like, I think it's because we were on skates, maybe was the reason. And Columbus, Ohio is not cool with that.
Come on, man. Come on, Columbus.
I was like, dude, I was out for one of those days. And it was like, this was just one day. And it was just all sorts of random shit happening. I was like, damn, Louis. So like, how did you deal with that in your mind? Like on a daily basis, like dealing with like, why are people being mean? I guess,
yeah.
But then also, people are being nice too.
Yeah,
apparently so.
A couple of things is I think we tend to sometimes I catch myself telling stories about this journey and I talk about the bad things that happen. But overall, if I look on the 45 days, the bad things that happened, I can count them on both of my hands. But the incredible people I met, the incredible things that happened, I could go on for hours to talk about them. And so at first, I had a really hard time understanding why this was happening. I was like, why are people so mad at me? Why are people so upset? Why are they not understanding? Why are they so frustrated and so negative? And it was really getting to me because I was like, I'm trying to do something so good for people around me. Like I'm putting so much love and effort into this for all the right reasons, really. And when that wasn't received, I was really struggling. And so until one day I had this thought. I was like, this guy got really mad at me on the road or something, like did a U-turn, like came and cursed me out or whatever. And then he left. And I remember in the moment he took off, I was like, man, I hope you feel better. And then I was like, if that's how it's going to be and people are going to be mad at me, well, if I can be the reason that they're pissed off, they let it out and they get to wherever they're going and they feel better, and like, then great. And then when my mindset, it was all about switching my mindset every time I ran into something. Like, oh my God, there's a crazy hill in front of me. It's going to suck. But then I'm like, yeah, but guess what? New York City's on the other side of that. And the one back there was pretty big.
Yeah.
So this one I'm about to cross is one less I have to cross down the road. And then if I cross this one back there, I can cross this one. If I cross this one, there's one after that. I'll get it. And maybe like once I get to the top, it's going to be all downhill. Maybe not, but it is what it is. I have to get through it anyways. And when you start embracing your circumstances, and just like with life, when you start embracing these hardships and everything, then you propel yourself forward, and it's incredible. Like I just had this conversation last night with my buddy. I'm like, you got to embrace these thoughts. Even if they suck, like what are they teaching you? What are they showing you? Because they're there anyways. And they're not going to just go away. So you got to take care of them. You got to understand them, where they come from, why they're happening. But also like understand that they're here, and that doesn't mean you can't go forward and you can experience great things. Like it's just a reality. We all have thoughts, and thoughts come and go. And if you're able to embrace them when they come, then you can move forward, and you don't have to slow down every time and like question your whole life. Like it's just an idea, a thought that crosses your brain. And we have a lot of those every day. So
Right, no, 100%. And I found that to be remarkable when I came out and saw you as well. You were like, dude, your whole body was like red. I think you were like a lobster. I think you were trying to become a lobster, I think.
Yeah.
And no, but obviously you're out in the sun all day, so that's like something you guys were regularly putting sunscreen on to protect your skin.
That was the scariest part, is the sun out there. I was like, man, it's going to be terrible. But
you could tell you were just in pain, you know, but like you gave no power to the pain. And like all day it was only positivity out of you. And I think it was like day 38, I want to say. Yeah. I can't remember what day it came out. Yeah, we were
like maybe like 2 weeks off the end, not even a week.
Yeah, it was something, I can't remember the exact date, but it was in the 30s somewhere. And when I came out there, so you'd already been like through the fucking ringer by the time I got there. And but you just still resonated positive energy. Like the vibe was super positive. Like it was like not like spending any time talking about any of the things that are difficult. I found that to be like, do you think that was the utility you used the whole time, or the thing that, or maybe the tool that you built to continue like running through the whole event?
I think that's been a theme in my life.
Yeah.
So many doors have been shut into my face, dude. Like whether it was through hockey, school, relationships, family, like so many times I was told no, and it really has been the best thing that people told me, because I was like, well, I always found a solution. And instead of like worrying about the problem, I was like, okay, but how can I go around that? How can I go through that? And yeah, it goes back to what I was just saying. You got to embrace these moments. And then I found myself looking forward to these moments, because I knew it couldn't get worse. And once you're at the bottom of it and you're going through like the rain, the people getting mad at me, the hills, the shitty pavement, it can only get better. And it does for a certain amount of time, but it will get better. And I just had this belief that every time I was just going through it and I was like pissed at the elements and everything, I was like, well, it won't get much worse than this. It's going to be better soon. And in fact, every time it was like magic. I could face like this crazy elevation for like 2 days, just going up. And then like 2 days later, I would be going downhill like almost the whole day. And so you just had to believe and like speak it into existence. And I found that on the road, everything I was talking about and like saying out loud would end up happening. So I really like learned to watch what I was saying. And it's true with your life too. And we don't realize. And that hit me. I'm like, I've been living for 24 years at the time I was 24. I was like, man, been living for 24 years and like I've been speaking all this shit sometimes just to speak, to fill up like a space. And that affects you, but you don't realize it. So like an example, I'm like, oh man, it's so hot. It hasn't rained in a while. Like, I wish it was raining, you know, like it's so hot. I'm burning in the sun. Well, oh, you wish it was raining? Boom. 10 days of just like torrential downpour. Just, you're like, whoa, okay. Maybe that was just a coincidence. Well,
Yeah.
oh, like the wind is always like pushing me into traffic. Like I wish it wasn't. Boom. Like the next day, 16-mile-an-hour winds, like pushing me in the ditch.
Yeah.
Like everything I would say and talk about, good or bad, would happen. So then I'm like, oh, did I find my physical limit doing this challenge? Now that it's over, I can say that no, I didn't.
You mentioned to me while we were on the road, you said something to me. You said, you know what's crazy? You said, like, getting everything together, the logistics is hard.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, the actual doing it, you said, was easy or,
Yeah.
or very doable. What did you mean by that?
So I was in college, broke college student, playing hockey. And, you know, I mean, I had to figure it out to, like, be able to stay in the States and live it all through. So my preparation with everything I had going on, I was up from 4 a.m. to 2 a.m. for a year and a half. I was training 8 hours a day. I was playing college hockey. I was going to school. I was, you know, just trying to find work, even though I'm not allowed to work, but like,
Right.
you know, I was just looking for all these opportunities just to be able to live up my dream. And I remember after my first week of training, I was not swimming at all, like before this. And I did my first swimming my first swimming training. And I remember being able to go down the pool in one shot, and then I had to stop before I could go back. And I was supposed to swim for an hour.
Oh, yeah, baby.
And I freaked out, and I was like, is this how it's going to be?
Oh, yeah.
Like, is this the moment where I like throw in the towel and I can't do it and I go live under a rock after saying I was going to do this? Or do I roll up my sleeves and get after it? And so I said, well, it's too late now. You said you were going to do it. So, and I just put my glasses back on, went back to swimming. And then the year and a half of preparation was so hard, like just surviving and like being able to do it and running on 2 hours of sleep when you're training this much, and like being so broke you basically don't eat for 3 weeks, like and but you make it happen because you don't have a choice. If not, somebody else is going to do it for you. And yeah, I just poured so much energy into like getting it all together that when I got on the road, it was almost like a break.
Yeah.
It was a break from the pressure of like building it and getting to the start. Now I could just be on the road and I didn't have to do anything else but skate.
Yeah.
And so as hard as it was, I was extremely prepared. My body was so strong. My mind was so strong that even though it was hard, like I was out there and I was like, wow, just so quiet, so peaceful out there on my own. And yeah, I was scared to tell my team that I was not finding my physical limit doing this. I knew it, but I was so scared to put it out in the universe that I had to keep it for myself. But I needed to talk about it, but I couldn't really. And then, was it hard mentally? Yeah, I think that the thing that was hard about it is that you skate all day and then you accomplish something, you go to bed, and then you wake up the next morning and you know that you have to get going. And you know you're about to be alone all day, and you know it's about to be a long, like you're skating and you look, you've done 1 mile and you have 100 miles to go, and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
You're looking at the numbers, your pace, and it's like you can't play the numbers game. You gotta just go.
Always think about it, because, like, to your point, you can never really be prepared for something like that. Like, you can't be prepared for these crazy ultra things, you know, like, let's say physically. Well, you know, what I find to be interesting is like when you're telling me you're doing this, I'm just thinking in my mind, like there's gas, there's food, there's people. You have to inspire through story to get them. Dude, getting somebody to show up to like an hour thing on a Saturday when they have the day off and they get something for it and all they have to do is show up is hard to influence, let alone, hey, you want to like follow me for 2 months across the United States. You have to do that with a crew, and you have to, so they're going to have to like take time out of their lives, and people are risking things. Like in my mind, what's remarkable is that you were able to, you know, inspire people to take action on this thing. And it took you 2 years to do it, which is like a lot of focus, a lot of like, oh shit, we run into another issue that seems impossible and you have to overcome that. It's almost like the 45 days and the fucking, what is it? Fucking, what's the exact mileage?
2,902.41 miles.
41 miles, like, was the celebration of the 2 years.
Oh, absolutely.
Of the 2 years of this is not going to happen because of XYZ. How can we find this? We need to get money. We need sponsors. We need XYZ. That's really, that's the foundation of greatness. And then, so it's interesting for like you to say that, because it sort of makes me think, it's like people are like, ask me, like, how do you run? The last run I just did was 117.5 miles. I just, in under 24 hours. Like, how do you do that? And it's so funny in my mind. I'm like, it's not even like the day of doing that. I don't really know, but it's the fucking months and years of like.
Then you just go and do it, and and all of a sudden you look and you're like, man, I'm doing it. Yeah.
But the greatness comes. Because greatness is what we talked about before. It's not that moment. It's all of the things that add up to you being able to celebrate. The celebration is what people pay attention to. But what creates the celebration, that in the nit-grit fucking details of the work, that is what people don't know. You know, so it's
I agree
fucking
with
awesome.
you. And to go back onto what you're saying is like, I realized that the moment I arrived in Times Square, like I pictured this moment for hours. Like I said, I've done this journey in my mind like a million times before I even started, but the celebration in Times Square, it was something I would reflect often. Was on the bike for hours. I was imagining it. I was wondering what it would look like. In my idea, it was going to be like a big championship win, like as a team, like it was going to be euphoric and this and that. And it was to an extent, but what really hit me is that I got to Times Square. I crossed this finish line. I'm obviously very happy, very proud. But the very first thought that hit me was like, holy fuck, what do I do now? And like my heart just dropped. I got super like, whoa, like I was happy and stuff, but at the same time I wasn't prepared for that. And I think that's something that one of the biggest takeaways I have from this journey is that whenever you're going after a goal like that, it almost became my identity. It's like something I worked on relentlessly every day for 2 years, put my body through hell for it when I was doing it, and all of a sudden it's ripped off. It's like ripped away from you. Like I got to Times Square the next day. I didn't have to skate. I didn't have to get up, and you're not prepared for that. And people had told me like Aaron Cowboy, I got to talk to him a little bit. He's like, hey, just get ready whenever it ends. Like, you know, it's going to be hard. Like my parents were like, oh, like we don't want you to get depressed because like it's such a big physical feat. Like you're so exhausted. Your emotions are all over the place. You can really get depressed. Like a lot of athletes deal with that. And at some point, like so many people were reminding me this. I was like, guys, stop. Like you're like speaking into existence for me. Like I'm good. I have to deal with this on my own. And I have to like understand that like, hey, it's okay. It's done. But like, that doesn't mean like life doesn't go on. And another thing too is like, I never did this for recognition or like, you know, clout, like some people would have said to me, but you get to Times Square. First of all, you tell yourself, shit, what do I do now? Then you're happy. You're with like my family was there, was great. My team, we celebrated. We're very excited. And then you wake up the next day and everybody that knows you, that's followed you on the journey, like the sun rises again. They moved on. They're like, okay, he's done it. So they're happy for like half an hour, half a day. And then life goes on. And you have to be okay with that. But you're not prepared for that because you just accomplished like a lifetime accomplishment. And you can't be doing it. That's why your purpose has to be really strong, because if my purpose was to do it just to do it and show people like, oh, look at me, I'm skating across the country. Well, I would have never survived this moment of like you arrive, you wonder what you do next, and then people kind of just move on. But because I knew why I did it for, and my purpose was deeply rooted in my heart, like I had no issues being like, hey, I'm proud of myself. I'm happy I did what I did. I don't know how long it's going to take me to find something else to do to, move on and continue living and look what's next for me. I don't know, but I know what I did, and I did exactly what I said I would. And that was great. That was important, but it was hard. Like, it was some of the hardest months of my life. Afterwards, everything fell apart. I was losing my visa for school. My school like screwed me over, took away all my financial aid, didn't recognize my journey as an internship, even though I submitted all my work. I didn't have a hockey team, couldn't afford my apartment, had to move to Europe to play hockey within a 2-day notice because I couldn't be in the States anymore. And I was like, how does that work? So I didn't really get to celebrate that journey at the end of it. I just was like, I have to get back, because you step away from your life for 45 days, but that doesn't mean it's not happening at the same time. Right. And then everything catches up to you when you just want to be like still for a second, and you couldn't, but it's part of it and makes the comeback even better,
No doubt. And also goes to show is that this too will pass.
This too shall pass. That's something I kept telling myself this whole journey. Is like, this is just temporary. Like these 45 days or 80 days, or it could have been like, at some point it's going to be over. I would tell myself, tonight you'll be in bed. It sucks right now for sure, but tonight you're going to be in bed and this will be over.
Dude, that is awesome. And you know what, man, that's sort of like, so I have this thing that I tell people, which is anything impossible is worth pursuing. Mm-hmm. And it's because maybe you don't want to ever actually accomplish it. But what you become, what you have to do to try to accomplish the impossible will make you the best possible version of yourself.
Absolutely.
And so like attacking something that's seemingly impossible is great, because you're going to fail so much. And everyone's going to say, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so. And you have this weapon, and it's that like in your mind that like it's this crazy purpose. And it's almost, you know what? And fuck everybody who will talk shit on like that there's no virtue in like pushing yourself to your absolute limit, like to try to like reach the pinnacle of what you think your potential could be. Like, I think a puke in a workout is a fucking win. Some people might, I think they'll be puking. Oh my God, sorry, I'm so shit. I'm like, don't do that.
Good for you,
best
man.
possible outcome. You push yourself all the way to that fucking puking stage. Like, that is like, not a lot of people are willing to push their bodies to that limit. Like, that is a fucking win. You've got to see that as a win.
And I always tell people too, like, there's what you know you can do. Then there's what you think you might be able to do, what you think you cannot do, like what your limit might be. And then like once you scratch that surface, there's like a whole other world. Like, it's insane. And I wish for everybody to experience this. Like, I remember the last days of my journey, like, dude, I didn't sleep for 2.5, 3 days. I just went because I wanted to finish. And I'm in the middle of nowhere. I've been skating for like 48 hours and I'm getting to New York slowly but surely. And I remember looking down on my body, and from like my sternum down to my toes, I couldn't feel anything. But my legs are moving. It's like almost like I was detached, and I'm just looking down, like my body's moving. And I'm good. I'm not in pain. I'm making progress, one step after the other. And it's like an out of body experience almost. And you're like, whoa, it's so interesting, and you just get to, once you scratch that surface of what you think is impossible for yourself, you just expand and you realize, man, I've really been wasting on my potential for so long. Where could I be if I just really believed in myself? Because your friends, sometimes like your family, like people around you that, they want the best for you. They don't want you to get hurt or get in danger. But like sometimes like your circle is like, be careful, like, maybe you're pushing too hard, maybe this. And sometimes we tell ourselves that, oh, you're tired, you need a rest day today. But do you really? Is it just a thought? Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't get rest days. They're important. But like, had I taken a rest day during my journey, I wouldn't have the world record. I wouldn't.
Yeah. Your support, there's a story that you told me at some point. I can't remember exactly when you told me this, but it was like early on. You weren't getting the mileage you needed, I guess, and because it was rough. Mm-hmm. And Ryan said, like, dude, we got to keep fucking going, otherwise you're not going to make it.
Well, so we wanted to start easy because you're prepared for the journey, but you're not. You don't know what it looks like.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to burn myself out too quickly because I was skating through the desert with 116 degrees outside. Like I could feel the pavement melt under my skates.
Yeah.
I was hallucinating. I was seeing semi trucks when nobody was there. Like I thought I was getting hit by them. It was just this whole thing. And we decided for the first like 10 to 12 days to skate 55 miles a day. And then increase it. But like we wanted to like get going and like not burn myself too quick because we knew 55 miles was comfortable for me despite the conditions. And our budget was incredibly small for what we did. And Ryan was like, Louis, man, like I love you and I support you, but financially, if you don't start skating faster, we will run out of money very soon and we won't be able to make it to New York. You can keep going, but like the team won't be able to be here.
Yeah.
And I told Ryan, like the first time I met him, like whether you're in this or not, like I'm doing it. It doesn't matter how, like I will do it. If I have to sleep in a tent that I have to carry every day and it takes me 100 days, whatever, but I'll do it. So
that would be fucking insane.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That would be
And so I was like, okay. And so on day 12, I'm in Flagstaff, Arizona, beautiful day. I'm feeling good. There's a bunch of people here with us and I'm skating and I'm confident and I'm almost too confident and I'm skating and my skate gets caught in a crack on the sidewalk and I just wipe out and I slide on concrete for like 30 feet, like burning hot concrete. I end up in the ditch. No more skin on my left leg, like my elbow, everything. And I remember I'm laying in the ditch. I'm like, oh no, my tattoos, are they all right? And then I was like, okay, did I break anything? No, okay, we're good. So I get up, I go meet the team. We're only 2 miles away from them. And they'll freak out like I'm bleeding everywhere. Like my leg is literally shredded. Like it looked like ground beef. I'm like, okay. And I'm sitting down and my buddy, Dan, was my trainer at the time. Like he saw that I was like really pushing it. And I needed like, I don't know, like something to happen, right? And he's like, Louis, what you're doing is great. Like I think you could benefit from a day off. Like the record is not all that important really if considering what you're doing. And why you're doing it. And then Ryan was like, Louis, you're going to go back out there, right? I was like, yeah, I'll go back out there. In that conversation with Dan telling me that the record was not that important and that maybe I should take a rest day, and the fall I just took kind of put a chip on my shoulder of being like, fuck that.
Fuck that, yeah.
And I knew Dan was saying it in the best intention, but I'm almost glad he said that because in my mind, like, and I love this guy, but with all due respect, I was like, fuck you. I'm going to get that record. And then that day I got up and it was my first time skating over 90 miles. I skated 94.5 miles or something. And then I woke up to the next day. I'm like, I feel great. I trained for this. What am I doing? And then all of a sudden my mileage just doubled and like started increasing, like 75 miles, 85, 95, 100, 150 miles. All the way till the last 3 days of the journey where I covered like almost 300-400 miles in like 2.5 days, just nonstop.
And it was that chip.
And it was that you can't do it. And like, a lot of people are like, Louis, you often talk about the people that didn't believe in you and not the ones that did. I'm like, no, it's not that. It's like, I don't find motivation from a tap on the back. I appreciate them and they're extremely important. And like, I honestly, like the people that do believe in me, like, I owe them the world, but that's not what makes me jump out of bed in the morning. It's that motherfucker that tells me I can't do something. The guy that says you're just a good kid, or you can't do that, or like it's impossible, or like, and yeah, just proving people wrong. And
you got your just a good kid on your arm.
You're a good kid, yes. That's a great story.
Dude, what the fuck is that?
I was playing college hockey in Boston. I was promised all this opportunity when I was going to play there, and I show up to training camp and it's 70 players. And I'm like, whoa. And we were all told the same thing. I'm like, all right, well, I'm just going to have to make my spot. So freshman year, make my spot. I play like 17 out of 24 games as a freshman in college, which, doesn't really happen. I mean, it was a first year program, so it happened for us. But if you go to like a regular hockey program that already exists, like freshman, sophomore year in college, you don't play unless you're like a draft pick, right? And at the end of the season, my coach is like, Louis, come back next year, best shape of your life. You'll have a better role. You'll have more playing time. Like, I'll see you then. I'm like, all right, sweet. You know, like I have a spot secured. All I have to do is work my ass off. So I did. I crushed all the fitness testing by a mile, you know, like I was really killing it. Had a great training camp, was scoring goals, like feeling great. But again, there were 70 new kids, despite the fact that we believed in his program and that we came from the very beginning. Now he's bringing 70 more kids. You're like, dude, what? Like, it's not very respectful towards us, but it's a business, whatever. And so I have this great training camp, and then afterwards he was meeting with all the players, and it was my turn in line, but he kept calling new guys behind me, although I played for him the year before. So I'm in half my hockey gear waiting, and finally go in his office. He's like, hey, man, like, did you not want to talk to me? I've been waiting here for 2 hours. All my teammates from last year are gone. Like, what's going on? He's like, hey, Louis, sit down. He's like, actually, you know what? I'll just go shower and come talk to us after. I'm like, I mean, I could have done that 2 hours ago. And so I come back from the shower. I get in the meeting room, and it's him, assistant coaches, whatever. And he's like, Louis, you know, you're just a good kid. Like, everybody loves you. Your teammates love you. Faculty loves you. Assistant coaches love you. I love you. You're a good kid. No, but like, seriously, you're a really good kid, but I just really don't know what to do with you. And I looked at him like, my character being a good kid, as you say, with all the respect I owe you as a coach, like, that doesn't determine my ability to play, my work ethic, like who I am as an athlete. Like, that's just who Louis is, a good person, but like, it has nothing to do with like my training camp and like my ability to be on this team. He's like, well, you know, like, you're just a really good kid, and like, I don't know what I want to do with you, so like, I'm gonna like come back tomorrow for practice, and we'll see how that goes, and if we keep you or not. And I'm like, what? Okay. Show up the next day, have a great practice, and then I go back in his meeting room, and again, what does he say to me? Oh, Louis, you're such a good kid. And I was like, stop. I was like, stop saying that. Like, I'm here because I deserve to be here, and I worked my ass off to be here. I mean, clearly look at the stat sheets on the fitness testing and everything else. You told me all these things. I deserve to be here because I earned it, you know? And he was like, well, we're building this JV program, so I'm just letting you know now, if you play like shit with us, we'll send you with them, and you can't say I didn't warn you. So then the JV season was starting before our season, and I'm out there playing, and like, no disrespect, but like, I was playing on a JV team at the beginning of the season. I was playing against girls and guys that were just started playing hockey. Not that girls can't play hockey, but like, I'm competitive, you know? Like, I was playing with girls that were like 6 years younger than me, and like guys that were just playing hockey for fun at school. So I'm like scoring all these goals. The coach is in the stands. I'm like, what am I doing here right now? So then he puts me back on the regular team, the NCAA team, and I ended up playing 2 games that season because he wouldn't let me play.
Why wasn't he letting you play?
That's the $1 million question. You know, being foreign in the U.S., and it's not easy, especially in the sports world. Like, at these levels, you don't really have margin for error. But me being French, and like, you even have less. And then it was just like, it's been the story of my life. People tell me no all the time, and they don't know why. I would come to his office, be like, Coach, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe this, maybe that. What do I need to do to get better? Well, Louis, you're the hardest working kid on our team. Like, just keep doing what you're doing. Oh, so the hardest working kid on your team doesn't get to play. That makes sense. So, yeah, I ended up transferring to Missouri State, one of the best decisions I've made. Well, because it allowed me to do my journey. Now, Missouri State screwed me over. That's another story. But I got this tattoo because it's a great reminder for everybody that never believed in me that I'm a good kid. So, like, go prove them wrong and, like, show them that it's so much more than that. And, yeah, it's one of my most powerful tattoos, I think. I love it. And that's really how I find motivation, I think, is to have people tell me no.
Yeah, dude, 100%. Like, I have, like, the first time I ever covered 100 miles in under 24 hours, like, I just had this reoccurring voice of this person who, like, the first time I attempted 100, and this guy, Dan, great fucking guy, just great guy, but, like, he said something to me, like, I got my ass handed to me. Let me tell you, when you try to do 24 hours of running nonstop, where you can't stop running you really don't want to stop running more than 120 seconds at any point, because you're gonna swell up and then you're gonna be fucked, right? So to get the 124, to keep moving, good to go. I got like 65 miles and my body just fucking shut down, and I didn't I just wasn't prepared and fucked up, and so like I didn't finish the full 24 hours the first attempt. This was like 4 years ago, and anyways, the guy who I was telling you about, this guy, Cody Eubank, this dude, he has like the record there. He hit 125 miles, and he broke the course record that day. He was doing like, fucking dude was still rocking like 8 minute 50 second miles, like you fucking, you know what I mean? He's been running for 20 plus hours, so it's like holy shit. Wow. And he said to me something like this. He said, yeah, man, can you fucking imagine that? Like, while you're fucking sitting on your fucking ass, he's still doing 8 minute miles. And that in my head was just like, what was that about? I came out here, got my ass fucking handed to me. I had no idea. And Dan didn't make anything about it. He's a great guy. It's like, it's kind of like your coach. It's like, they don't mean no, but he just said
you
that.
You pick up on that.
And I was just like, not only do I feel like a complete fucking failure right now, and I'm like super discouraged, and I'm like being very hard on myself. Like, wow, what a piece of shit. Like, you only covered 65 miles, 100K. And I didn't finish the race. I stopped because I was totally locked up. I was like hypoglycemic. Like, I felt like a complete fucking failure. I was like, oh, fuck. And then he said that to me, and I was like, what the fuck? So I trained my fucking ass off for an entire year, just with this mantra of Dan's fucking voice, just in my head of just being like, you know, just like, yeah, dude, while you're fucking laying your fucking happy ass down, you know, like he's out there rocking 8 minute miles. And I was like, I'm going to fucking do that. Yeah. And so, the first 100 miles, it was like the following. I went out there, and that was my mantra when like, you know, you get to the point where you've been going for like 12 straight hours and you haven't stopped eating. You know what this feels like. It's like this fucking, your body just hurts so fucking bad in every single place.
Almost like it doesn't hurt anymore because you're like, you just know now, like it's your norm. Like,
so there's a mindset shift there. Is there a moment like in your mind too? Like, did you ever get to this moment where you shifted like the pain, like you created a different relationship with that pain, like that you never had before, but you had to create that relationship before you had like this, almost like this ability to be numb, like no more pain can make this any different.
Yeah. So
like, is there a moment?
The first like 12 days were really hard. And I think that fall really just made me like explode completely. Like dude, I woke up that night and like, I was like shaking. My body was in shock because like my leg was shredded. And like we couldn't put bandages on it because it would get stuck to it and then like open up. And like the first 12 days were hard because your body goes into like, you're training, but all of a sudden you're doing it. And it's like no training was exactly what you were doing. So it's like, whoa. Day 3, I had blisters this big on my feet. And I'm like, I'm not even out of California. My feet are falling apart. Switched my skates. It was fine. But
were your feet swelling up at all?
Oh my God. Like from my knee down to my ankle, it was just one straight thing. I would take my skates off and you could see like, you know, when you take the plane and your legs swell up where your socks are at and you take them off and you have like this dent. That's how my legs were. My feet. I'll show you a photo if I can find it. My pinky toe was probably like this big.
Yeah, dude. Fuck.
And, but it's just what it was. And the first 12 days, it was really hard, but then you're so sore and so beat up. You don't know what it's like to not be tired, you know? And like, you have no choice but keep going. And the more you go, the more you like embrace that hardship again. It goes back to what we said in the beginning. Then it's fine. Nothing, you're going to be tired. That's why like the last 3 days of the journey, I was like, you're exhausted already. You're going to be done, but you can empty the tank once and for all and it's over.
Did you ever have to like commit, did you ever have to confront like your mortality at all to help you stop thinking about the pain?
Yeah. I was on the road, and when you get scared, you really drain your energy. Like, I was scared I was going to get hurt. I was scared because of the traffic. I mean, you're on the shoulder of the highway. There's like rocks and everything. You're tripping every other step. And there were semis going like 80 miles an hour in some states, like 2 feet away from you, like, or even just a mirror from a pickup truck at the height of your head. And then one day I was like, you know what? The good thing is traffic's coming from behind me. So if I did get hit, I wouldn't see it happen. It was just done. And I was like, man, that's so true. Oh, that's great news. I can just go and whatever happens, happens, I guess. And like, you had to trick yourself with this whole like death thing and like danger and like detach yourself from it, because as soon as you start thinking of it, you go like, you get paralyzed and you're like stressed out, and all of a sudden like you're done for the day. And I was talking about the journey yesterday with somebody, and they're like, you could have died. Like, I know. I mean, I got hit by a car. I ran into a black bear. I got chased by coyotes. I almost got rolled over by a semi when I fell on the side of the highway. Like,
You get hit by a fucking car?
Yeah.
Dude.
In Indianapolis, I was going through this intersection with the green light, and this guy pulls up for right on red, and the guy's like, go, go, go. But I'm like, I know I'm going. I have the green light. So I'm like, that's kind of weird. And I get in front of the car, and sure enough, buddy floors it. So I kind of anticipated it, and I jumped up, and I like bumped on the hood of his car and fell on the ground. And like with the adrenaline, I just got up, and I went up to him like, dude, what are you doing? But then I'm like, I can't call the cops. I can't call an ambulance, because if something's actually wrong with me, now my journey's done. Like, I'm going to be delayed. And like, if there's actually something wrong, like it's all over. And the guy just like started screaming at me in Spanish and left. So I started skating, and I was so in shock that I couldn't feel really the pain of anything until the next day when I woke up. Dude, I was like all bruised on the inside, like on my right side where I was hit, my shoulder and my leg. But then because you're so focused on that pain, you forget about the rest. And then you get back on the road and you're like, oh man, fuck this guy that hit me. Like, I'm in so much pain here and there. But you forget about the pain on your feet, the pain in your knees, the pain in your hips. And then you're skating. And then you're like, oh, I just tricked myself. And I think that success is like being able to trick yourself into doing the things that you got to do, but don't always feel like doing. And yeah, how can you today trick yourself into doing exactly what you're supposed to? And it's almost like you have to lie to yourself so much that it becomes your reality. Like, there was never a point where I was like, I'm not going to skate across America. I was like, no, I'm going to skate across America. And I told it so much to myself. I wrote it on my mirror, every mirror in my house. Every time I would walk past it, even if I wasn't reading it, I could see it, and it just became my reality. And I was convinced, and you have to convince yourself that something's going to happen to you before you can even attempt.
Dude, that's such a powerful message, man. It's like, clearly you understand the power of like the relic of intention. Mm-hmm. Like, you have it right there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Have something that like you automate your attention, because you're going to lose it. I say willpower will only get you so far. Mm-hmm. Willpower will eventually fail you. Oh, yeah. You have to find a way to like use your willpower to automate the execution, which is like, you have enough willpower to sign up for the marathon. So do that. Yeah. But don't use your willpower to do anything outside of that. I mean, try your best to train, but what you're going to do basically is just sign up first.
That's what I tell people, yeah.
It's like, just use that bit of fucking willpower you got to just sign up, and then write marathon somewhere and put it there. Yeah. And like, that's how you run a marathon for the first time. That's how you do it, yeah. That's
what I told my buddy, Justin. I just started working with him for like fitness and stuff and trying to help him out. And he's got a goal of running a half marathon and losing 50 pounds. And I was like, dude, you know what? Find a race in a reasonable amount of time. Like, I don't want you to do it tomorrow, but I also don't want you to do it in 2 years. Like, I want you to pick something and sign up for it, because once you put your foot in, you don't have a choice to do it, which comes back to me saying to everybody I wanted to skate across America. And people always want to wait to have the answers to everything before they get started. But it's like, you get nowhere, because you'll never have all the answers. Instead, how about you learn along the way, because you'll get so much further. If I wanted to have all the answers on what a day would look like out there on the road with my journey, I'd still be trying to figure it out. And even when I was doing it, I couldn't tell you what was going to happen. We had an idea on how many miles I wanted to do every day. But was I going to skate double? Was I going to skate only half? We didn't know. Everything was possible out there, good and bad.
100%. Like, I saw this thing with entrepreneurs on Instagram, but I thought it was good for every winner. Is basically, the winner is basically the person who will jump out of the helicopter with no parachute and build a plane on the way down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's
basically what it is, man.
Damage control.
You know what I mean? That's how you learn how to do this. I always think it's funny, because people, what they do is, and I think it's good to do a little bit of research up front, but you only really need to know 10%. Like, you're sitting there trying to figure out answers to problems that you don't have yet. So the only way to really solve these problems is to like really confront them in a real situation where you have no way to get out. Automate the execution, by forcing yourself with willpower somehow. I feel like it's like the most practical thing I've ever learned. How did you learn that? How did you learn that? Like when you started putting things together, like to write things on the wall, to use like auto suggestion to find solutions, to like, how did you learn that? Was that something that you were taught when you were younger? Was that like before this journey started?
So, I mean, I always liked to write, like my whole life. I go through like memories with my mom, and like she'll pull out all these letters I would write to her when I was a kid that now I read them and they make no sense, but it was just the intention of like putting my thoughts on paper. And so I was always looking for ways to speak things into existence. So like, for example, I put a map of the US on my wall, and then I put a pin on where I wanted to start, a pin on where I wanted to end, and then I took a Sharpie and I drew all the possible routes I could take. And then every time somebody would give me a positive note about what I was doing, I would put it on that wall. And then something like everything that was linked to my journey, I put on this wall, and my apartment wall was covered in my room. And like every day I would see that, and I would wake up and that's the first thing I would see. And then I would write on my mirror my goals. I will rollerblade across America. I will set a world record. I will create a great documentary. I will do this to give hope. I will raise money. And then it was always like being so passionate and having that purpose. And, you know, we were talking about you don't burn out when you do something that you truly love and that you're meant to do. And so for me, I was so passionate about that, and I was so in the unknown that I had to arm myself with like all these weapons and like building my toolbox of like, okay, you know, how can I just make myself believe even more, or like speak into existence the fact that I'm going to accomplish something great. And yeah, it just became second nature, and it just came to me. And the more I was focused and passionate about what I was doing, the more all these answers would come. And eventually I had all these things. Like I also did, to go back to like things like my tattoo, I have this iPad, and every time somebody says I can't do something or I couldn't do it, what I would do is I would take a photo of them, like from their social media or whatever, crop their face, put it on this Word document, and then I would put on top of it the quote that they would tell me, like, you go back to France, like, you shouldn't be in the States, like, you can't do it, you won't even make it out of one state. And I put that in wallpaper, and I put it in as my screensaver. And then I printed it out on my bedroom door, so every day when I would walk out of my room, I would see all these people and everything they told me that I couldn't do it, and I would walk out to like go kick some ass. And I think that just comes to you, and just exchanging with different people and learning what they do, what's their story, what works for them, what doesn't. And then you kind of figure out like how you operate. You know, some people operate better when we tell them good job, congrats. Well, then focus on that and bring that to yourself. And then for me, it was like, oh, you can't fucking do it. And that fires me up. So I was like, how can I use all these things and then just manifest, visualize? Like I said, this journey, I've done it like a million times in my mind. Like sometimes I'd be like, oh yeah, I know this spot because I looked on Google Earth before, on Strava. Like I did all of it, you know, and you just convince yourself.
Yeah, it is very much like using your conscious mind to just find a way to almost like who you are, I guess, like what you actually accomplish is like a river that's flowing. And your conscious mind, the only thing the conscious mind can really do is just like place a rock that puts a ripple in the water and changes directions of where the water goes. But the water's going. And so like you can't be the water, but you can be the rock, you know, that changes the direction to some degree. And the more you focus on like using tools like setting the intention and creating relics of intention, you know, using willpower to set up the appointment, to get to get the tattoo that will never leave, that will be the energy on your daily basis, that you have to see it. The more you do that, the more you practice, the more you actually see that like manifesting and writing your story is like a practice of constantly trying to find the power to place the rock, but not to become the water. And I find that to be incredibly common in when I have story. Like I love there's one thing, and I'm telling you right now, there's one thing that the podcast is, and I've only done 100 conversations so far, recorded podcasts. Right? I know it's a fuck ton of work.
It's a lot.
That people don't even realize. It seems easy to just sit here across from Lou and do this. Like, dude, let me just fucking tell you what goes into all this. It's fucking insane. Like, and it's been 4 years of doing this, so we've got a ways to go. But like in any case, is to like talk to remarkable people and ask them around their stories, and then that is always true, dude. You have to somehow find a way to it's like, it's not lying. I don't want to say lying to yourself, but you have to convince yourself, because yourself is such a weird thing.
It is.
And it doesn't really want you, like it wants you to expend the littlest amount of energy as possible. It's like, it's there to be like, the couch feels good. That's why when they're like,
it protects you too. I mean, and to a degree, sometimes you have to listen to that, because like, I mean, people like you and I will go after everything and anything. And sometimes it's good to take that step back and be like, okay, this is what I want to do. Am I doing it the right way? And then you recenter, refocus. But there's a fine line of staying comfortable and really just getting shit done. And that line is hard to figure out and to ride, because you're like, well, it could go either way. So it just comes with experience, and I guess embracing your failures too. You have to fail. Like,
you have to fucking
to fail and like get slapped in the face. Like, I mean, even on the journey, there's a day like I skated 30 miles. And for me, that was an absolute failure, because like now we're behind, and like, but I needed that. I needed to eat shit going 40 miles an hour. I needed to get hit by a car. But I also needed to have a good conversation, have somebody join me. And I needed to have like a stranger in the middle of the desert hand me water when I hadn't seen people in like 8 hours, and I'm like dying out there because I'm all out and I don't even know where I'm going. You need to just embrace everything that comes your way and find like the deeper meaning of like, why is this happening to me?
Yeah. And it's not all about just like living in like perpetual suffering and like not allowing yourself to enjoy or like experience pleasure. It's funny. I have this, you know, David Goggins is. I always think when I'm like watching a movie, I really love like a Sunday where like, I still have a bunch to do. Will never all be done, but there's a Sunday and it's just like, we kind of have the house clean, the dishes done, the laundry's done. And we just got a new couch now, but
hell yeah.
Me and my wife, like I love to cuddle with my wife on a Sunday and just like watch a show. I don't give a fuck what it is. Just it's on there. It's me and my wife there. And I always think when I'm there, I'm like comfortable. I'm with my wife. My cats still jump on the couch. You know, the whole crew is on the couch and it's Sunday. And then we're watching a show. And like, there's a part of me that comes up and it's just like, you can't be doing this, you motherfucker. This is too comfortable. This is normal people shit. You don't do normal people shit.
But you have to.
But like, and like David Goggins, I always think when that is happening, that pops up. And this makes me laugh because it's like this part of me that's driven to like push through hardship, because that's going to be important. It's also important to like, to like very much enjoy those moments, because those moments are so good. And those moments happen very few and far between too, you know, like those types of moments, those comfortable, like I have this loving relationship with my wife that I cultivate and that I work towards on a daily basis. And like, I have this nice home with all this nice stuff. And it's like, just to have gratitude in the moment and be like, this is why I do all this stuff, so that I can very much enjoy all this. And I have this thought that comes up that wants to tear that all away, because I should be in pain right now. I should be fucking running out there, you know? And so I have this thing where every time, and I say it in my mind so that I can just be like grateful for like, hey, life is about pleasure too. It's not all about pleasure, but it's about pleasure too. When you can enjoy this thing, you know, enjoy it. You know, like when you're at the beach, be at the beach. When you're in the office, be in the office. I can't remember the guy who said that, but he's a smart guy. Be
intentional about like where you're at and what you're doing. You have to.
100%. So I say this to laugh and get back to that. I say #sorry Goggins. I'm like walking with my wife in the park, like holding her hand, and I'm just like #sorry Goggins. I should be on a 200-mile run.
That's so funny.
I should be on the 200-mile ruck right now. Anyway, so like I say that to laugh to myself, because like I love Goggins. I think he's a really inspiring guy, and of course he's got to do that sometimes, right? Maybe I don't know. Maybe
David, let us know, man.
Can you imagine like David Goggins just like sitting in like a jacuzzi, like watching a football game?
That'd be just so weird. That would be so weird.
It just doesn't exist.
That'd be so weird.
But like the idea though is that like there's a dichotomy to this thing. It's not like the pain Olympics, like who can put themselves through the most suffering and like put themselves on a pedestal.
It's not ever like what, like some people want to compete and like, I'm like, you can if you want, but you got to do it for you, man. Like, you got to do it for you first, and then attach a cause, a purpose that's deep within. Because if you're not doing it for the right reasons, you might be successful once or twice, but in the long run, dude, you're gonna be miserable, because you're gonna be chasing more. And I'm so fulfilled with my journey. Am I excited to find something else? Yeah, to do. I have some ideas, but I feel like the more I look for these opportunities, the more they run away from me, kind of like money. You know, Andy Frisell always says that, like, the more you chase money, the more it runs away from you.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like that with everything. So I think just embracing the fact that things come to you when you're like aligned with your purpose and who you are, and it's great. That's how my journey came to me. Like, it was just a shower thought, like, oh man, it'd be cool to skate across America, and then you turn that into something. So yeah, you can't just be constantly just looking or like wanting to do it for like this pain thing. Like, it's just not about that. It's part of it, and you got to be able to accept that and be ready for that when you do something like this. But your purpose is going to be so much deeper than that, I think. And those moments, though, those painful moments do make you feel alive. Like,
dude, it's insane.
It's like, I get that. That's something that was really important for me. It was like, I earned the right to feel like shit right now. I earned the right to feel tired, because I trained so hard and I skated all the way. Maybe I'm only halfway across the country, but like, I've earned the right to be here. I earned the right to like look at this hill and be like, oh man, it's gonna suck. And that for me was so powerful. I'm like, dude, good for you. Like, you've earned it. Like,
what do you think the utility? That's interesting, because I totally agree. What do you think because I think there's a utility to this. What do you think the utility is to like inducing like self-suffering on a daily basis, or whatever, like painful suffering, like come into the workout is supposed to hurt because of the utility of the pain. Like, what is it about the pain that gives you that?
Well, because you're not comfortable anymore. You're not in your little nest. You're not protected, and like, you become vulnerable to all these things, like the workout you're about to go, your emotions, like how you feel, and then that sense of accomplishment. You don't get it unless you like push yourself through and you see it through, and then you realize it was only a matter of time until I got through it, but I just stuck with it, and the clock kept ticking, and I just kept moving forward. Like, no matter how much you're hurt, like, that was my thing on the journey, is like, no matter how bad I'm feeling right now, from here to my feet, it's a long way down, but I can always take one more step. Quite frankly, I don't have to stop unless I make myself stop, like, you know. And that was it, was being able to detach your feelings and your emotions to like your goal, and just be able to be like, okay, well, sometimes I was skating and I was like, you know, look at this tree. I'm going to make it to this tree. And then I made it to that tree. And then I'm like, oh, well, see that sign over there? I'm going to make it to this sign. And I would just trick in my mind to focus on different things and detaching like that pain. And I think it's important. You have to experience those things, because again, how are you ever going to find your true potential if you don't go beyond like what you think you know, what you think you can do? And you got to surpass that, and you gotta dive into that. And in any field that you do, like whether it's studying to become a doctor, whether it's being a musician, like, you have to surpass these little emotions in this safety nest of yours. And yeah, just experience. I mean, we're alive. Like, why not? Like, why not experience what's out there and like see like what am I made of? Like, who am I really? Do I have that in me? And once you do realize that you do, you're like, man, if I was able to do this, I can do a whole lot more.
Like, 100%. I feel like there's nothing like pain to like force you to be present. And like, awareness is obviously so unbelievably important when it comes, like, self-awareness is so important for everything. I think, like they say, the number one thing you need to be a successful business owner or a CEO is self-awareness and emotional control. Well, what is emotional control but to have a stimulus like, fuck you, Louis, you're a bitch. And then and you're like, you know, you have this, okay, there's the stimulus. You can't control the stimulus. I just said, fuck you, Lou, you're a bitch. And like, now the only thing you can control is this space between stimulus and response. Great book is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You should all read it. It's kind of like a staple foundational book that you should all definitely read and come back to. But he talks about this beauty between stimulus and response. And there's most animals, they just get stimulus and response. Like they have like this stimulus that has happened so much in their environment that they've automated this response. Good to go. Humans have this beautiful space. And we don't really understand this space. This is where conscious awareness presides. And the more like you get this stimulus, the more you gain control of this space between response, the more you gain the control. He talks about like the more you're going to be able to have what's called emotional control. So like if I can say, dude, you're a bitch, and you don't lose your fucking mind and punch me in the face and beat the shit out of me, and then you go to jail / you pay my doctor bill. Now I called you a bitch and you're paying the bill for me. It's like, that wasn't a good move, but you just let that, you had no control there, and it's going to require you to have unbelievable presence, because you can't have any control over your emotions unless you have presence. So so to some degree, I feel like the more you put yourself through something that's incredibly difficult, the more you have to confront whether or not you respond in a way of like, I'm shutting down and going back to automation, or like, I'm going to choose to continue moving forward. I think Seneca said this. He said that we treat the body vigorously so that it does not disobey the mind. Yeah. I find that interesting.
That's great.
Of course, I heard this on Joe Rogan, so like this isn't any crazy. This isn't like, I wish this wasn't like an Instagram reel that I'm reciting, but it is. In any case, like he said that, and that though is amazing. It's an amazing bit. It's a reason why that bitch went viral, and that might be a cliche now, because it's fucking true. Because like when you put your fucking body through something unbelievably painful, it requires you, because if you're automated, you're stopping, of course. Like let's say the rational response is stop, but the fucking crazies, the mad ones out there will be like, no.
Oh yeah.
And that is incredible. So to me, I feel like the utility of like putting yourself through this fucking crazy shit. You know, you show up to the gym and you push yourself through. It's like you love the burn. What is that? You're some kind of masochist. Everybody calling you weird. Well, you're gonna do 100 miles in under 24. Oh, you're gonna fucking skate across the United States. Are you fucking nuts? It's like you're the one that's nuts because you're trying to not do that kind of shit. You know, it's
and
like
you like let the norm around you just like stop you and hold you back, because humans are not supposed to do that. I'm like, when I saw what Iron Cowboy did, I was like, he's a human being just like I am. You know, like he wakes up every morning, he eats food, he goes to bed, he showers, like he has a life. If he can do something like this, why can't I? I'm a human being too.
What exactly
he built himself to that.
What exactly did that Iron Cowboy do again? It was something like
so
Iron
Man. First he did 50 Ironmans in 50 different states in 50 days. And then he went on to do 100 triathlon races. Like, so Ironman never sanctioned what he did. They were like, no, these are not Ironmans, because like you're not.
He just did a track.
So he did the same route for an Ironman distance.
Okay, I see.
100 days in a row. And on the 100th day, after he finished and everybody came to celebrate, he said, in life, you always got to go one more, do one more. And the next day, he put his shoes back on and he did another one. He did 101 Ironman distances in 101 days.
How in the fuck did he do that?
I wish I could tell you, man.
Like, how in the fuck did he do that, dude? You know what I mean? Because like it's like the physical feat's one thing,
but like just like I don't know.
Is he just like covering like every podcast known to man, like just on the run?
Dude, I'm like, what? Like, how do you? I don't know. But then again, fucking did it.
Yeah, that would be so interesting. I've not researched up this guy enough, but any conversation with that guy would probably have been immensely beneficial.
Yeah, and like I talked to him, like one of my friends, Jeff, was staying at his place once, and he FaceTimed me, and I got to talk to him, and then I got to message him, because when I didn't know how to plan a route, I looked up him and his team. I watched his documentary like I don't know how many times, and I was sending Instagram DMs to like his team partners, be like, hey man, this is what I want to do. I just want to pick your brain on like how you did that, how you guys like did the routes and this and that. And then sometimes they would answer, sometimes they would redirect me to somebody else. And then mutual connections made that I got to talk to him via Instagram. Sometimes we catch up a little bit. It's great. But yeah, just being able to be surrounded by better people than you in terms of like what they've accomplished and what you aspire to be is great because you get to learn from them. And I never want to be in a room where like I'm not being challenged. I'm not like looking at somebody being like, oh man, like I wish I could, like for instance, like being around you, I'm like, damn, like he's built this whole thing. This is something I aspire to do one day. And it's great because like, hell, that brings me forward. Oh, he's running all these crazy races. Well, that's something I want to do one day. Like, how did he do that? Where did he fail? What worked for him? What didn't work for him? And when you're able to like have these meaningful conversations with people that inspire you, it launches you forward. When you make it about people, when you take time to listen, people talk to listen, but they talk to talk, but they don't talk to listen. And like for me, putting that journey together was like, I want you to tell me your story so that not only I can get to know you, but I can also understand how you operate and how I can apply this advice to what I'm doing. It might help me, it might not help me because we're all different, but we all have very different stories, but we also all live the same things. People would always tell me, Louis, I can't do a journey like you because I never nearly died, or I never did this, or I never did that. And I'm like, okay, but in your life, you've experienced things that are significantly impacted you in its own way, just like what I went through impacted me. It's just, we didn't live the same thing, but that doesn't mean what you lived didn't affect you the way what I lived affected me. It's just different things. And maybe, I guarantee you've experienced things I haven't. And I would love to hear about them because then I can understand more and grow. So yeah, it's just about giving yourself credit for what you've gone through and like, beat. I always say what happens to you doesn't define you. How you overcome does. It's like, what are you going to do, with your life? Everything goes south. Are you going to say, I have all these things happening to me and hide under that umbrella? Or are you going to roll up your sleeves and be like, yeah, so what? My buddy Nate and I were talking last night and I said, I saw this quote. I don't know where I seen it. I don't know exactly how it went, but it was something along the lines of like, oh no, it's raining. Yeah, it rains. It's like, yeah, so what? It's fucking raining, so what? It doesn't change who you are. It doesn't change anything, but I can still just fucking get out there and get after what I want to accomplish. And on the journey, I was like, let's go. It's raining. That means it's going to get easier soon.
Right, dude. It's like that Jocko Willink bit where it's like, no matter what you're going through, where like you're either using it as an excuse or thinking it's a roadblock, just say good. In any situation, it's like, we don't have enough money for this. Good. Like, it's raining. Good. It's fucking XYZ. What is the hardship that you are saying that you are, let's even say, what are you complaining about? And what are you complaining about regularly?
Yeah.
Back to awareness. Because like, take that thing you're complaining about and just put good. Like, Becky is a fucking bitch, and every time I come into the office, Becky's got some bullshit to say. She's always like saying like, no shirt, and I'm like, what's wrong with my shirt? What's up? The rest of my day, I'm thinking about my shirt. What do I do with my shirt? Why does Becky gotta fuck with my mind every morning? Becky's always like, I don't know, fucking whoever your Becky is, right?
Yeah.
I wish I didn't have to fucking deal with Becky because then I could have a better day at work. Is not how to attack that. You should say, Becky is a fucking bitch constantly trying to manipulate me and make my day worse. Good. How can I develop tools in my mind to make that work? Make my day better? How can I it's good to have Becky because she's trying to fuck me up. What if now, because I have Becky, now I can practice every day to see what tools work to make that ineffective in ruining my day? And now maybe how can I make Becky a better person where she just says, hey, good morning, as opposed to like always fucking talking shit about my shirt.
Because then they're like, oh man, what? Like, he's actually nice to me and he doesn't have any resentment. And that's so much more powerful. There's this coach in Springfield, Missouri, one of my great friends, Jeremy Meyer, has this CrossFit gym called Proximal Strength. And he was a big role model for me when I was around there because he was doing incredible things. The impact he had on people around him was great. And one time during the workout, he was telling us he did CrossFit at a very competitive level. And he said, when it was really hard and I went through the toughest workouts of my life, I would make it a point to smile. Because just that having that attitude and like, oh man, it fucking hurts, but I can put a smile on my face. Then your body picks up on that. And to go back to what you were saying with the journey, how I was always trying to stay positive is because, I'm like, I speak everything into existence right now. Like I really realized that, and I was like, if I am pouring so much positive out there in the world and picturing that for myself, then that's always going to happen. But as soon as I start complaining, oh man, conditions are terrible, people are so mean, you focus solely on that, and then it's like everything's happening to you and not for you. And yeah, I mean, somebody throws a frozen water bottle at us in Columbus going 40 miles an hour.
Yeah,
like,
that was wild.
If I focused on that, then I would notice everybody's body language, like being pissed off at me. And then it's like this never ending circle of just like bullshit. But if I'm like, oh, well, you know, he's out there on the road with me, he's fired up. And then these people waving at us saying hi, like I made it a point whenever a car would drive like on the opposite direction of me to wave at them or like give them a thumbs up. And I don't think I missed one. Every time I would make it a point, I'm like, if I can just say hi like that or wave and stuff, well, I'm putting out good in the world. And then ultimately that comes back to me. You don't do it expecting that it comes back to you, but you also, like, I mean, when you're like going through something like that, you're trying to put all the chances on your side. So again, doing things with intent is what creates separation.
Dude, you have like such a positive mindset and positive outlook at the world, and you've developed all of this, all of these tools to keep yourself positive and being a part of something that that helps. That is a like a contribution to the betterment of the people around you and society. Let's say at large, especially with you trying to build money and awareness for this specific disease that almost took your life. But you also seem to be pretty highly motivated by like the darkness. There's like Tim Grover. I talk about him a lot because I think he's like training right now. I think he's training Conor McGregor. I saw a post he put up. I think he's like going to train Conor McGregor for something. But long story short, though, he was standing next to him and he said, "This is all you need to know for now." And I was like, "Oh shit!" But Tim Grover was the personal trainer for Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. I mean, this dude coached like not just elite athletes, icons, like legends. So he has this really different way of thinking. So you definitely need to read his book. His book is
I'm going
amazing.
to read now.
I'm going to talk about his 13 rule. I did this with Jeff Lavecchio too, and I kind of glazed over it, but let's see what you think too, because I think it's good. We'll talk about a couple of them because it's really interesting his way of thinking. But he talks about the dark side. Everyone's got a dark side. Some of the best people in the world. And, you know, obviously there's outliers, but some of the best people in the world, they have a very powerful dark side, but they leverage that dark side to be good in the world. Where, like, some people have a dark side, but they say, no, I don't, or they, like, run away from it, or they stay willfully blind to their dark side. And those people tend to eventually become, you know, people that are not particularly the best. Yeah. So, like, what do you think about that, man? Do you think you have a dark side? And do you think everyone has a dark side? And do you think that there's, like, how do you think you deal with that?
I think everybody does. It's inevitable. A, nobody's perfect. B, we all failed or came up short in our own ways, whether we were just not showing up for X, Y, and Z, and we were putting blinds on our eyes like, no, I'm not fucking up right now. I'm not showing up, you know. Like, sometimes you got to be honest with yourself. And again, I think that embracing that dark side will allow you to move forward, because otherwise it's going to catch up to you. Just like when I was on the road, like, all the good things and the bad things in my life all came up to me when I was by myself, and I couldn't escape. I couldn't just ignore that by going shopping or traveling or hanging out with friends or partying or hanging out with people. Like, no, I had to face these things, whether they were good, bad, small, or big. And I think, like, you can't lie to yourself. You have to, like, take it head on and be like, yeah, this is who I am. And that doesn't necessarily make you a bad person because you have a dark side. It's okay. We're human beings, and we all, although we're all very different, we're all also extremely similar in our experiences and the things we feel and the things we fear, the things we're excited for. And I think, like, the day you really just tap into that and, like, you know what, good and bad, this is who I am, and I know that I've come a long way or not, and I have still work to do, then that's where you really just explode in the world. And, like, for the right reasons, if you're, you know, because there's malicious people everywhere, there's assholes everywhere, like, yeah. But if your intent's good and you're really, like, connected to that and your purpose, then Yeah, so what? You fucked up. So what? You were an asshole back then. So what? But are you willing to admit that and sit down with yourself and just take some time to be like, why did this happen? Why did I behave like that? There's something deeper. There's a reason that was deeper for me acting that way. There's a deeper reason for why I didn't show up when I was supposed to like get things done. Why? Be curious, be invested in like developing that aspect of things, that so that next time when a situation comes around, you're armed and you're ready for it, and you can make the better choice, the better decision, and also fuel yourself to like just become who you're meant to be. And you can't just run away from like who you are. You can't. And it's so easy nowadays with social media, with distractions, with like you can get everything like this now. You have a question, you don't go to the library, you just open Google, and within 5 seconds you know. You don't have to work for those things. So if you're not intentionally working on that, you're only going to get so far. And that's why I journal so much. It changed my life. I do it every day, because it's one thing to think your thoughts, but to actually look at them and like transfer them to here. And I can just like, once it's written down, it's there. A thought, I can just like, put it back in my brain, and it's gone until I want to think about it again. So yeah.
What do you think that is? Why is that? Because that's clear. It's clear that like when you write it down on paper, like it does something different. It like brings that thing into reality that really makes it more tangible. Like, why do you think that it is?
Because a thought can come and go so fast, right? Like I can think of something and then, I don't want to even bother. So I just put it in the back of your brain. It's gone. It's just like, it's here for a split second and it leaves. Whereas when you have to like speak word for word in your mind when you're writing. Like, I am journaling now. Like all these words, you're saying them to yourself, and you're like seeing the action of putting them down on that piece of paper. Therefore, you're like, okay, so this thought is down here. This question I have for myself is here. Now, let's break it down. What are the answers to this? And then you go one by one, and then all of a sudden you have this whole paragraph written. You're like, whoa, that went that went way better than I thought, or way worse. Sometimes I had journaling questions where I would write 2 sentences, 3 words, and sometimes I have 5 pages, and I'm like, holy shit, I needed that, and I didn't even know I did.
Yeah.
But until you are intentionally making that a point to like learn about who you are, why you do, what you want to accomplish, it's hard to move in the right direction. You're going to be going in circles and circles and circles.
It wasn't really until I started to hire employees and create process and procedure, that I, like for my own business, that I realized like how much of what I was doing in my mind, I was kind of, I would deviate and I would be inconsistent. Because once I created a process, I had to write it all down. And when you think you have it all down in your head, like you think you have your goals down, you think you have your purpose down, you think you have it all down, well, then write it down and tell me how clear it actually is. Because once you start writing stuff down and you start trying to like bring what's in your mind to paper, you find that like there's like almost a manic disorganized pattern of where that thought comes up, like for what part of the process and what part of the timeline, and you realize your brain doesn't follow like a chronological order way of thinking. So like if you like want to create a process or create a plan for doing anything, or if you want to like know who you are, what you are, and you're not writing anything down, one, you're not having these conversations with yourself to the depth, or at least to the precision that you should. But when you write it down, it requires precision. And so like you start getting it on paper and you realize there's 10 steps to this. I thought there was 10 steps to this, but for me to actually articulate this to somebody else, there's actually 20 steps to this, and I've got them in the wrong order. Yeah. And so, but because it's down on paper, I can like now move these things around. And now as I start to read through them, I have this thought, I want to write a book, not so anyone reads it, but just to organize my life in my mind.
I started doing that.
Yeah. It's good.
Year. It's hard. It's hard because you don't know where to start. And then I caught myself like, man, like where do I start? And then I was like, fuck it, just start writing. And then you'll piece it all together and move things around. Like, yeah, it's not so much for other people. It's, I think, more so for me. And I think it's a good reset button to like from where you were born to now, and then you can see what's next, but it's good to have these reflections. It's important. And unfortunately, like, we're not taught that in school. It has to come from you. And how many people did I know that would see me journaling like, I could never do this. Journaling's not for me. I don't like it. And then they tried it. I was like, okay, try it for a week. Tell me how you feel. And now, like, you see them post on their stories, like, they write pages every day.
Yeah.
And you don't have to write a page a day. You don't have to write 5 pages a day. But no matter what, like, there's a lot of tools you can use. Like, my buddy I met on this journey, Joe Lindley, had biked across America, did a totally different route than mine. Now, I met him through Roan, a clothing company I work with. And they put us in touch. And then he came down and met me when we were in Oklahoma with 2 of his buddies that were on his journey. He almost died. Like, he was biking, and then on his journey, he was biking, and then this truck was carrying gravel, and the lady was like on drugs or something that was driving it, and she pressed the button to unleash all the gravel, so he got swept.
Oh,
and like
damn.
almost died. And then the next day, he was in the hospital, and the next day he got back on his bike and finished his journey. And so when they're on their journey, they had this deck of cards that they built, and they would write questions on it, and they would go up to strangers and be like, hey, like, we're doing this, would you like to pull a card? And it's a really deep question. And they would create a connection with somebody, and then these people would be more likely to help them go across the country and help them with their goal. And so they eventually turned that into a business idea, and it's now on their website. And it's called the Heroes Deck Journey. And when you answer every card from like the first one to the very one of the deck, you write your own narrative, your own story. And so there's like the 4 elements: earth, water, fire, and wind. I think that's, yeah. And the ace card is the hardest one to answer every time, and the number 2 is the easiest. So like, you go through this pack, like, who were you as a child? Like, have you ever cheated death? Like, and you answer all these things, and you read it, and you're like, I just wrote my whole story. And so after my journey, I did that, and it changed my life. And like, it's helpful because you don't always know what to journal about, and you sit in front of your notebook at first, and you're like, what do I do? But with this thing, you have a prompt, and then you have a deep question, and sometimes you answer it like this, and then sometimes you sit in front of your paper for an hour, and you're like, whoa, that moved something in me.
Yeah, dude, it's just remarkable how powerful that is. It's like, it seems, it's profound. It's profound how remarkable that is, like, and how useful that is for like bettering your life and seeing like real improvement. Because I always feel like when I'm winning, it's because I'm doing all these things.
Oh, yeah. And the amount of little things you got to do for so long before you win. And then all of a sudden it feels like everything's unleashing. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, dude, you could be for hours and days and weeks just knocking on that door. Like for your gym, for example. Like, just
100%.
hammering. And then one day you wake up and it's there. Like, you're moving in. You're getting clients. You're like setting up this podcast room. You're like... But dude, it's insane. But it's just whoever's willing to do the shit that nobody's willing to do at all. But how long are you willing to like repeatedly get after it and like being told no, but like, yeah, okay, good. And then keep going. And that's what life is all about. And
do you think to some degree you're a bit crazy? Like, you're a bit delusional? You have to be a bit delusional because like it really is insane to some degree.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, but crazy is good in a way, like you have to absolutely step out of that mold. Otherwise, you're just gonna, like, what are you gonna accomplish?
Like, you gotta kind of be crazy because you have to keep moving forward. It's like, dude, but when I open this new gym, it will be 10,000 square feet, 9 to 10,000 square feet. I'll have a podcast studio in there. It will have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equipment and everything. And you'll kind of see that, and it will still look, when it happens right off the bat, it will still look like, okay, who cares? It will have taken me 7.5 years of unbelievable sacrifice, unbelievable focus, and unbelievable work ethic.
An investment like you
wouldn't believe. Because so many of the investments go without return because you don't know what the fuck an investment is.
Yeah.
At first, you just put $2,000
you don't need
into
to
something.
know.
Yeah, but you don't. At first, you don't. Yeah, you don't. But like this unseen work, it's not about you living remarkably on a day-to-day basis. It's about you doing things that are like, and let me know your thoughts on this, but like, it's about you literally doing things that seem pretty normal, but you just do them every single day. Come work out with me. You'll be like, yeah, it's a pretty normal workout. But it's like, I do that every single
because otherwise I feel out of
day.
place.
Yeah.
You feel out of place. And the more you can control and like set yourself up for success, repeatedly do that, the more you allow yourself to like open up to opportunities, and you're prepared and you're like in place. You're not, anxiety only comes from the work that you're not doing when you know exactly you're supposed to. Like, you can eliminate so much stress and like feeling of like being out of place by just showing up consistently and doing the little things. People want to accomplish big goals and they want to go from 0 to 100. I'm like, no, take that big goal and break it down in like 100 steps.
But then that comes back down to how you breaking it down. Get that fucking pen and paper out.
Pen and paper out, because you can try and break it down, but then you're gonna remember 3 of them.
Yeah, dude.
And it's not clear, and then you think you're doing it, and you're bullshitting yourself. It's like, no, pick up that pen and paper, put it down, and then go from there. The amount of notebooks I went through trying to put my journey together, like, and now I laugh about it when I look, and it's also a great way to see progress. I mean, look at a progress photo in a fitness journey. At first, you're like, shit, I'm taking my photo every day. It sucks. And then a year from now, you're like, wow, this is what it used to look like. This is me now. Whoa.
Yeah, you're training people now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, how long have you been doing that?
It's something I've been very passionate about. I've been doing it. So I was actually going to start officially the day of my journey started. But I was like, it's not a good time.
It's a bunch.
So really like November 2022 is when I kind of got started. And then I, again, didn't have all the answers. And I'm just passionate. And I have a certain way of doing things. It doesn't, resonate with everyone. And you can't please everybody. You just got to be yourself and you go with it. And yeah, I do it through First Form's app. And it's cool because I get to help them with nutrition and like listen to their goals and kind of use what I applied to myself to like put their journeys together. And it's been really rewarding and really fun. Like I've helped like this girl from Ireland. She, she's lost over 55 pounds.
That's amazing.
It transforms her life. And now it's like, okay, well, you were there and now you're here. And now it's harder because, like you got to really just focus up on like new things, learning new things and new habits, because you're not who you were anymore. You're above that now. You've leveled up because you believed in yourself, consistently did the little things, and boom, one day you just woke up, you're like, holy shit, I accomplished that.
Right.
And now it's like, yeah, how do we go from there now? Now we break up another goal into smaller, and it's very rewarding to have people come forward and trust you with their life and just like want to pick your brain and like are excited to like just get on a call with you just like you are. And it's all like this energy that comes together, and to be there along the way for them when things are going well. And to me, it's so much more than just coaching individuals. It's like I have to build that foundation, that relationship, that friendship. I want to know about you. Like, what's your story? Like, and most importantly, what's your why? Why are you doing this? Because on times when it gets hard, I want you to remind yourself like why you got started. And yeah, it's been rewarding. It's very hard. I'm on my own, obviously, doing this, and with the time zone, sometimes it's hard to coordinate and like be on track. And in hockey season, that's why I'm excited for like the off season, because I have more time to like really get to do this. And I just recently got 3 more people to join my team, so it's great. I'm excited to get started with them. But yeah, overall, it's a great experience. I still have a lot to learn.
What do you mean, like your team, like a training team?
So on I call it my team. It's like the people I coach. So
okay,
like,
I see. Okay, I see what you're saying.
So like right now, I'm probably have like 20 people online.
That's cool.
Which is great. Yeah. So it's a fun journey. Just getting started. I also enjoy coaching all the kids for hockey and the hockey teams I play for. And I try to, as a coach, give them the things I didn't have when I was younger. Like I want them to look back and be like, man, like Louis really helped me out, because I remember the best coaches I've had. I had 2, and I never forgot what they did for me, and they truly changed my life. And if I can be that for them and help them, like, understand the power of the little things repeatedly over time, then my job's complete, because I want them to have fun and enjoy that journey. Because if you're not, then you're only going to go so far.
Yeah, 100%, dude. Like, I always kind of think, like, also to your point, when it comes to coaching, like there's no real one way of how to coach, but you should definitely coach exactly how you think it should be done, and then develop that just so you curate the experience. If somebody's looking for a hot dog and you sell burgers, like give the hot dog, don't start doing the burger. If you're good at the hot dog, do the hot dog. Because like nowadays people want to, it's like the customer wants to like be the manager of the restaurant.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like for you to really actually help people, you have to stay within your bounds. That's a hard thing to learn off right at first, I feel, when it comes to helping somebody. What is interesting, though, and when it comes to coaching, to piggyback off what you're saying, is that the power of coaching is, and the most powerful coaching I've ever had are coaches that, and this is what I try to do, that's the think big, live better thing, is that it's like you just talked about this, to kind of like put it in a nutshell. It's not about telling people what to think or exactly what to do, but how to think and how to do it. It's like, you know, I always think, like, I heard this once from a teacher, and she's a grade school teacher, and she really cares about what she does, and she has 100 followers on fucking Instagram, and we'll never be able to tell her beautiful story about why she does what she does. You know, maybe she does, but she doesn't have any. Her passion is in these kids that she works with. She doesn't get paid as like at half as much as she should get paid, but the fucking how much she really cares about these kids, and that like she's teaching them correctly. It's like it's amazing, and like, may that be a lesson to everybody, is that you don't need 100,000, 500,000. You don't need any fucking followers to be a remarkable human being, or be to have worth and value in your life. You can have 0 followers and you can have worth and value, just for everybody, because I know it's hard now, because nowadays with social media, it's unbelievably God powerful to have a lot of followers. So I'm saying you should do that, but I'm saying you don't. But you don't have to. You don't have to do that. I'm just saying, like, you don't have to do that. So just if you have 100 followers, you're just fine, and you can be just as valuable as the people who have 1 million followers. You're just not going to be able to sell as many things.
That's very true.
But she said this once, and it stuck with me forever, and it's so true. But she said, you know, a great teacher will guide a student, like, and show them where to look, but not what to find. And I find that to be interesting, coming from somebody that I admire like that I've watched go so hard for her job, but her return is in what she gives. Her return is for what she gives, not for what she fucking, the government's paying her, the school's paying her, how many followers, the likes she gets. She gives a fuck about that.
True intent.
Old school way of thinking, but because it came from a place of just genuine, sincere passion for what she does, I'm like, that's probably true. It's probably true that, like, the best coaches are not saying, you have to lose 15 pounds for you to be successful. You have to drive the Lamborghini. You have to run across the United States. You have to do 100 miles in under 24. You have to have a world record. Like, to be valuable or to be successful, it's just somebody who's, like, explaining, like, look, right now you want to feel fulfilled. It's because you're XYZ. Yeah. And, like, here's a new framework for, like, maybe finding a way to look at your situation differently. And again, something that seems so simple is so profoundly life-changing. If you can truly build the trust in a human being who's sitting across from you, or that you're working with, who has paid any kind of money, fucking paid their attention to you, paid their time with you, you should have an unimaginable amount of gratitude for having the ability to sit across from them and help them shift the way that they think. Think big, live better. Think big, live better. That's what it is.
Love it.
That's the whole thing. It's not about the exercises we do in here, the workouts, the squat, if you can do the right lunge, what fucking your diet looks like.
That's why you're doing it.
Should you eat pizza? Is this okay? Is Ozempic bad for you? Like, what the fuck, you know? It's like, should I be doing a marathon? Like, can I do a 5K? It's about, how are you thinking about yourself? How are you thinking about shit? And it always comes down to, I sit across from people like you all the fucking time. We talk. I'm extremely grateful for my opportunity to have these conversations, but the word is like, that constantly comes back around. The messages from every person is that, like, it's not about the specific thing you're thinking about. It's not about that. It's about, how are you thinking? How are you thinking? What are you thinking? Yeah. You know, and it's just fucking incredible what that can do for you, dude. So fuck yeah, man. And so for you, when it comes to winning specifically, What does winning mean to you? What does winning mean to you?
For me, it's knowing that whatever I'm doing, whichever field it is, knowing that I can contribute to greater good around me. Whether it's as a hockey player being the best teammate I possibly can be so that as a group we're succeeding. Whether it's as skating across the country, whatever I'm doing is to, serve a cause and give hope to somebody, show that anything's possible. As a coach, to give tools that will help the person, the athlete in any field of life, not just sports, because it's so much more than sports and lifting and nutrition. It's like, man, like I'm walking away today and I feel inspired and I feel like I have a tool that I can use wherever I go. And also like helping people share their stories. I think being vulnerable and being able to show somebody that, hey man, it's okay to open up. It's okay to tell your story because we all have one. And I think that's all these things combined together goes back to like, yeah, just serving people around me. I get to be alive. I get to live. And for me, it's just like accomplishing what seems impossible. But in reality, like nobody's going to set that limit but myself. And like, is there a limit? I don't know. And there's so much to experience and live. And to me, winning is just being able to pursue whatever it is that you want to accomplish for like greater good around you and being a part of something greater than myself. That's winning to me.
Dude, fuck yeah, man. And I kind of want to just, because this kind of, I got just a few more questions for you. I think we've done like 2 hours in like 89 degree weather in here. So like, you've done a great job, dude. Like just the level of focus, like while you just like, I told you it was going to be bad. There will be stories for a couple of years just about like doing podcasts in here where it was just.
Hey, that's good though, because when we'll be in your podcast room with the AC, we'd be like, man, we're not burning as many calories. Like, bullshit.
We don't have to like focus in on being present, dude. Like.
You're like talking, you're like, this camera is catching that sweat drop.
Seriously. But so Tim Grover, we talked about Tim Grover, his 13 laws of winning. I'm not going to go through all of them, but there's one that I love, and I want to know what you're going to think about it. So it goes like this. The road to winning is hell, but if you quit, hell is where you stay. What do you think he means by that?
Oh, you just got to fucking throw yourself in there, man. Like with the journey, I mean, had I quit on day 1 or day 10, like I was in it, and like the hell around that, it was just not possible for me to quit. That road to winning was hell. Like it was just like, yeah, but in order to win, I had to get through it. And wherever I would have stopped is what I've been known for. The guy that attempted this and that failed, and that would have been just miserable. Would I have still been proud for like, being like vulnerable and be like, I'm going to do something and I'm going to attempt is very courageous. And I would have been very proud of that. But yeah, it is hell, and nothing great and worth accomplishing comes easy. Absolutely nothing. And you got to be okay with that. And again, I've said it for the past 2 hours, you got to embrace that hell, because once you're there, like it only gets better. It really does. And it's cliche, and like I hated it when people used to tell me that, but at the same time, man, it's so true. And if you get to be happy where you're at despite not being where you're headed yet, that's a big win to me. And I 100% agree with that. It's like you gotta be okay with like going through it and not having the answers and being scared and being this and being that. But as long as you know that when you come out of there, winning is on the other side, then you're.
So like if you quit, hell's where you stay. Do you think he means like if you were to quit, you would just continue to suffer in some way?
Well, yeah, because like you're going to live with what ifs. And that's, people often ask me, what's your biggest fear? And it's to live with regret. Because I know what it's like to be on your deathbed and be like, man, I wish I told my mom I loved her more often, even though I tell her all the time. I wish I spent more time with my dog. I wish I enjoyed hockey practice more. Like, it's a shitty feeling at any age. I was 6 when that happened, but at any age. And I promised myself, like, never again will I feel that way. And now to this day, I can tell my mom, I told my mom that once. We were having a really good conversation. I was like, not that I want to die tomorrow, but if it was to happen, I can confidently say that I always did everything and anything that I've ever wanted. And to be able to say that as a 26-year-old person, like, it's great, because like I have so much more to accomplish and so much more I want to do. But hell, I lived my life. I couldn't have done any more to like fulfill like who I am in my life in general. Like, I just did everything I wanted to do, and I'm going to continue to do that as long as it's aligned with who I am. But yeah, so I think that's where you stay if you quit. And I think quitting is just like cheating on yourself, really, and like just like believing that inner self. And we tend to always like listen to that voice so much more. We give it so much credit. It's like, it's something I don't quite understand, because it's really not that hard to like keep going.
Yeah.
But we created this idea that it's impossible, and once you scratch that surface, it opens a whole new world, and then you feel so dumb for quitting so many times, or giving up, or like falling off track. It's like, why? It was really not that hard to just put one other foot in front of the other, whatever that would look like in the journey. But
yeah, I think like, I can't remember the name of this dude, but he says it's like there's a power to one more, but not thinking of how long it's going to take to win, but just
do one more.
Don't quit.
You forget about the long-term goal, and you're like, what can I do right now? Well, I can skate to that tree. I can skate to that sign. And then all of a sudden you're like, shit, I just did 50 miles. Just because I was detached from the outcome, and I was just worried about forever moving forward. And I think that's what it is. When you feel like quitting, you're just like, all right, well, I don't need to quit, but I can worry about my next step. And then just one more. And then all of a sudden, dude, you're across America. You're opening a new facility. You're pursuing a career in sports. You're helping people. Your client loses 100 pounds. Like, it's just like one little thing can go such a long way. And that's what it's about to me. Like,
why do you think people quit?
Because it's uncomfortable. Like, success, the road to success is so uncomfortable, and it's society now, you can have it so quick, so easy. Like, it's everything now. But we forget, like, that's not how anything great was ever built. It took time. Like, it's, people don't want to wait. There's no patience. There's like that idea that you can get successful overnight. You see all these gurus online telling you, I'm going to sell you this course, and in 30 days you'll be a millionaire. Like, as much as you understand that it's stupid, that's all the only narrative you hear. But then, like, I like so much better when I see this person like chasing a goal for years, and then like one day I'm like, I see it, and it's like, boom, I did it. And I'm like, whoa, that's cool, because I've seen it firsthand, just like with you in this place. Like, I see how far it's come, because I've known you for 4 years, and I know that for 4 years you've been telling me one day I'm going to have this big facility, and now you're just on the brink of it happening. And
that might fall through, and it'll continue.
And that might fall through, but guess what? And then maybe it's just a redirection for an even better one.
Yeah.
But it's like we tend to forget these things, and again, embracing that road, embracing that little thing, that little win, because they stack up so much more than these one big events. Like, if you're training for a marathon, you don't go run a half marathon twice and then call it a day and you're like, that's it, I'm ready. You're going to do that 5-mile run, that 10-mile run, that half marathon, and then back to a small one. You're going to do these tiny little things, and then over time you're going to get to race day and you're like, oh, I'm doing it. Oh, sweet. But that would not happen had you not taken these small runs and these small steps beforehand.
Shit.
But the mic.
Yeah, I was going to go, fuck yeah. No, just resonate with that. Because it's true. Because, like, I don't remember who said this, but yeah, the celebration is the run.
Yeah.
The race happens. The race happens in the day-to-day, like, running.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I got this loop I do that's like 6 to 10 miles. It's like a 6-mile loop or a 10-mile loop, depending on where I take a right. And I just do the same run, like, literally 5-6 times a week. And it's just to, like, automate the process. Yeah. I should. And, like, I'm going to continue trying. Part of, like, the process moving forward for this 200 miles and under 48 thing that I'm doing, once we announce it, which will be announced by the end of this week or early next week, that I'm doing this, because I'm doing it for my mother-in-law who was diagnosed with bone cancer. So we're trying to build some money up for her. So that's kind of the gig.
That's incredible.
That will be in September. But, like, the thing that's crazy is that maybe you'll see that, you know, we did a podcast with her. You'll see those. We'll try to get it filmed and make a little thing for it, good to go, absolutely. So we can, like, spread the word. Yeah. You know what I mean? But And so I got it. Part of my challenge is because I've never really been like a get on Instagram and be like, hey, I'm
Dude,
doing
we've
this,
been
man.
talking about this for 4 years.
I know that. Believe me, yo. I've been talking about this for 4 years. It's like my thing that's like holding me back because I have this story in my head that like I absolutely am not this person, but I have to be this person. So it's like a challenge. It's like that challenge that I've been trying to overcome.
Remember this when you feel like you don't want to do it. I used to hate social media.
Yeah, like that's crazy.
I used to hate social media. I felt like it gave people power over me. I was the guy that would post one photo every 3 years. Like, I hated it. But then when I started my journey,
right,
that's something I wasn't ready for. And my producer was like, you need to put your Instagram public, and then you need to start posting every day. And then I got in touch with First Form because I wanted to be a part of it. They're like, you need to be on social media every day and share your story. And I was terrified. I remember like, oh my God, no way. It's not me. It's not what I do. And then I just did it. I just did it because I had my purpose. I had my journey just like you have yours for your business, for this event, for everything. And then the positive feedback I got back from that was overwhelming, like, and insane. It was one of the best memories I have. The first time I shared my story to the world. And then it just becomes normal at first. And so what? People are going to give a fuck. They're always going to have something to say anyways. And they're going to be like talking shit, or maybe not. I'm lucky, knock on wood. Like I've had only very few like shitty like experiences. But
are people talking shit?
Yeah. Like people tell me I was doing it for clout. Like people tell me I wouldn't make it out of Nevada, even though I never skated through Nevada. And like it's all these comments I remember on my journey. I kept them, and then I made a collage without tagging them. I tagged them like so nobody else could see but them. And I put their comments on the photo of me when I got to Times Square.
Oh, that's
that was a good revenge.
Yeah.
But I forgive, I don't forget.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, like people are always going to be so caught up on like, oh my God, this guy's doing this. Who does he think he is? Until somebody else is doing it. And then their focus go to somebody else. So it's like, you're doing it for you. You're doing it for the right reasons. And I mean, you have this incredible thing going. I absolutely think you should tell your story. Your energy is insane. Your personality is like fires up so many people. Every person that I know that knows you gets to meet you is like, dude, this guy Jordan makes me want to run through a fucking wall. Like, but it's true, me too. And so do it for you.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. It is crazy overcoming the stories that stop us. Is it not? Like the stories that stop us.
And sometimes it's like
what
this tiny thing. You're like, and then like in 10 months from now, you'll be like, holy shit, you'll be doing it every day. And you'll be like, what was I waiting for?
Dude, it's like what's fucking Alex Hormozy says. It's like Alex Hormozy is this guy, you know, I don't know if you know this guy. He created Gym Launch. Just a guy who's got a lot of really good insights on like just winning, you know, like specifically in sales, but like he's got this thing, acquisition.com, but he always says, man, it took me 20 years to just like make the call. Yeah. It took me 5 minutes to do. You know, it took me 20 years to do this. And then this is what caused me to be so successful. It's like, but the 20 years is, or that's just the whatever, but the 4 years of like just constantly struggling with a stupid story of like, oh, I'm not this guy. I'm not this guy who does this thing. And it's like, of course you are. That's exactly what you are.
Exactly.
And look, also to your point, to piggyback off this, the person who said, you're just doing it for clout. Like, here's the thing about the thing about like this new world we're kind of moving into. Dude, it is clear that you need to build a social media following of people who like engage and vibe with your story, and that you can benefit them in some way, and you should leverage that. So like in my mind, you're an idiot if you're like saying you're a dipshit for trying to find a way to create something like infinitely powerful. Yeah. Like, what are you talking about?
It's like, I'm sorry that you're so insecure about your life that you have to hate on other people's desire to greatness. And even if they fucking failed, they had the balls to say it to the world and try while you're sitting there behind your phone on your couch. But any publicity is good publicity. So I'm like, if you want to fucking say stupid shit, like,
which is really what it is, right?
But
it's like literally them trying to be in your comments so that they can get people.
Yeah, that. And then like also like, you know what, like you can get misinterpreted so fast on social media and whatever. That's why like you got to do it for you. Yeah. You know your reasons, you know why. And then like people are always going to have something to say, and then they meet you in person. They're like, oh.
Yeah, and here's a bit of insight for you to inspire everybody to start really fucking working on increasing your following. For me, I've never really tried to increase the following on Instagram or Facebook. I've always like put stuff up because within our sales funnel, we have to have new stuff up on our Instagram because our flow goes from basically advertising to Instagram, like Instagram or Facebook, to website to a first workout inquiry, free value, and then turn them into a paying client, let's say. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's like you go to my Instagram to make sure I'm a real person. So you have to see that we're updating. So the followers doesn't matter, especially hyperlocal, as much as that we're putting up new content every day to every other day. Has to be recent.
And as long as you're doing that too, it's the way to do it. Because if you're doing to gain followers, it's not working.
Right, 100%. So as long as you're putting up information that resonates with the people that you serve specifically, you will still make a lot of money. You don't have to have a lot of followers. But now let's talk about like marketing. Let's talk about advertising though. We had somebody on the podcast that had, dude, I can't remember how much she had. How much did, how many followers did she have? Like 90K, yeah.
I mean, look at Jeff Lavecchio. He's got over 100-something thousand.
100%. Absolutely. And we looked at one of her posts. So like she was here and she was like, look at this. And she's showing her post and she's like, look, this got 150,000 views. That's interesting. So 150,000 views on one video she randomly did, right? 90K followers. Dude, for me to get 150K views, I would have to pay $2,000 in promotion. So for her, she can just get that from her phone. This app that's just there, she's got 90K followers. She puts up anything, 150,000 people see it. How many like and engage is whatever, but like 150,000 people's eyeballs see this thing.
But the engagement is extremely important.
It is super important. So that's like the next step. But if you promote something online as a regular business and you want to have the same thing she can just do on any like random Sunday, just like take a video of herself and that's going to get 150,000 people, it would cost you $2,000 if you don't have 90K followers.
And also you can get very lucky. I made this video once. I was running late to class and I posted it. 7-second video.
Yeah.
4.5 million views.
That's right. You told me that.
My phone was broken for 2 weeks.
That's wild.
3 weeks. I still get likes on it.
What does that do? What does that do to your, like, do you just never see anybody who comes into your DM or like your comment?
It's like a constant notification for like months.
You like open up your Instagram and it just shows like,
dude, like, yeah, like 3,000 likes. Like, I mean, like, dude.
That's actually insane. That's actually insane.
But that video created like tension because I started watching the comments and they're like, it's just me skating up to the blue line on senior night with a photo of my parents because they were not there. And then it's a photo. It's like, it says, wish my parents were here for senior night. And then it's a photo of me as a kid on the ice with my mom. And I'm like, oh, wait, we've played all over the world and followed our dreams, ? But then I'm like chilling here. And then people are like, way to use your parents' death for clout. And I'm like, I guess if you put it this way, you can interpret it that way, but it's not. You can literally see my parents commented first on the post. And that's exactly like where you gotta like be good at, is creating enough tension that people are like, wait a minute, without looking like a complete asshole, but also like, and again, like people are always gonna have something. So like, goes back to do it for you. But when you see this video, it's crazy because I'm like, shit, I skated across America. I have this like trailer and it's got like 1,000 views, 1,200 views, whatever. But then I post like this video and it's got 4.5 million views, and it helped like all the videos that I posted around it get so many views. I mean, if I show you this, it's coming up here.
It is clearly like something that you should be working on because of the power like behind it.
There it is. That's all it was.
Yeah, dude, I remember that one. Oh, and that's a killer post too.
4.5 million views, and then look at the post around it. It's like 13K, 25, 19, 18, 12, and you gain like. One post gets you like 2,000 followers. Yeah. It's pure luck. Pure luck. When I made this video, I was just like running late for class. I come out of class, dude. My phone is just lagging. And I'm like, oh, what? And it was crazy.
That's kind of fucking awesome, though.
Yeah.
Like,
one video can change your life. Like, it is true.
Yeah.
And I've seen it with people. Like, one post can literally change your whole entire life.
You have to just keep doing it. You have to just keep, like,
Small,
it delusional.
little things every day.
Fucking belief up front that, like, you can accomplish this thing is, like, just fucking to some degree, like, an intentional delusion that, like, as long as you just keep doing, as long as you just keep posting and you just keep talking to people and you're just trying to be valuable and XYZ, like, you just keep believing that, like, maybe there's nothing around you. Because, like, dude, sometimes it gets dark and there's nothing around you that indicates that there's any way this is going to work. And the only way you can move forward is to have belief. Yeah. And this belief is like, why should you believe? And, like, there's that point in my mind that's just like, it's a bit of delusion. You have to just convince yourself, like, look, you just have to keep going. This is why it's good to surround yourself with, like, people who support you. There's, like, good support and there's bad support. Like, I think the bad support are the people who are like, you don't you think you need to take a day off?
Oh yeah.
And then there's good support where it's like, didn't you say you wanted to win?
Yeah. You told me you wanted to do all this, so what the fuck are you doing?
What the fuck are you doing, man? So, yeah, man. Fuck, dude. All right, dude. It's getting there, man.
Yeah.
So, wait. I got one more question for you. One more question for you. Thank you for coming on the podcast, dude. As always, dude. I don't know how long this was. This was probably like 2.5 hours in 85-degree weather, but that was good, dude. Hell yeah. Always enjoy when you come on the fucking podcast, dude. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for the opportunity. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to sit across from people who have this like mind of just let's do something remarkable and amazing and have accomplished that. So
it goes both ways. So
fuck yeah, man. So thank you so much, dude, and thanks everybody for coming on that listened this far. You guys are fucking badass too, and this is why we do it, to like show you that it really is a matter of your mind. It is a matter of the stories you tell yourself. It's like, you can fucking do this. You just got to be a little fucking batshit screws loose, you know.
That's right.
But I ask this question to everybody. It's the last question I ask, and so that way we can really know what that message is. Dude, Louis, if you had the attention of every single person on the planet, if every person on the planet could hear you right now, your one message, what would it be, man? What would you tell these folks?
This quote that's helped me and, like, I want people to tell themselves is, I am the master of my fate. I'm the captain of my soul. And that's always stuck with me. It's like, no matter what happens to you, good or bad, you're the creator of your own story. And you can either let somebody write it for you, or you can write it yourself, because I truly believe that absolutely anything is possible.
Fuck yeah, dude. Louis Chaix, dude. Thank you so much for being on the podcast,
Thank you for having me, brother.
Where can they find you, man?
Instagram, at Louis Chaix, LOUISCHAIX. All social media platforms are the same. And then, we are looking for potential investors, sponsors for the documentary about my journey across America. It's called Louis Chaix, A Journey with Purpose. It should come out next year. So we are looking for people who want to partner with us, who believe in the journey. That's the most important thing. And then, just you can go on social media, learn more about it. Always open, here to help anybody with anything I can. So, yeah.
Fuck yeah, man. Well, thank you. You guys got to go fucking follow Louis Chaix. That motherfucker's going to do remarkable shit. He's going to continue to do remarkable shit.
Just getting started, baby.
Hell yeah, dude. I love it. Fucking awesome energy. So grateful for you to come on. Thank you, everybody, for listening all the way to the end here. And shout out fucking Trey. Where can they find Trey? Producer? What's your account? We're going to put that shit in the comments.
He's been sitting out back with us for these past almost 3 hours, sweating like we are. So, yeah.
It's fucking hot in here, dude. I'm going to go over there. It's going to be 86 or 87 degrees.
I've been needed to pee for probably the past hour
dude,
and a half.
Dude, you could have done that. You could have easily
no, just fucking, you know what? It's part of it.
Let's go. All right, guys. But thank you so much. And always remember, think big, live better. We'll see you on the next one.
Go.